always say, you always. See, I think when we have all this technology, you're supposed to be using it. But that's just my personal opinion. Okay. And then this is the main one. Don't worry about that. Let me get this in here. Go back over here real quick. And go back here. All right, where we at here? There we go. Let me get this down right. Here. Here. Change this here. Did y'all see a white piece of paper on this table?
It's
Right here?
yes.
Those are my questions. Oh, that's not. Here we go. Let's see what we got here. It should be good. This is a good time. All right, peace, family. Happy Friday. I'm back up in the building. I know I ain't talked to y'all in a minute. Well, at least since, what's that, Wednesday, me and Brother Barry. So I am here. This is a new piece I'm doing where we're going to talk to some of our family that's directly from Africa, directly from the continent, not like, you know, I think I may be from the continent or, you know,
100%.
I took my DNA and I think I may be 100%. No, I'm just kidding. No. But these brothers are really from Angola. And Angola, I'm excited that this will be my first interview because what I know to be true is that the first enslaved Africans on record came from Angola to, what was it, Virginia or DC or somewhere?
No, it's Virginia.
Virginia?
Yeah.
So I thought that would be really befitting to basically have you all as my first guest. So give me your full name. So make sure I get it right. Because I know Lopez, that's easy. But your first name is?
Laurindo.
Laurindo?
Laurindo.
Laurindo.
Yes.
Actually,
Actually, I'm shameful that I don't have an Angolan or an African, you know, name.
wait, so that's not an African name?
No, it is a Portuguese name. Yeah,
Wow.
it's
Portuguese.
actually, all my full name is a Portuguese name. Laurindo Pedro Sebastião Lopes. You know we're gonna talk about that later. That the Portuguese, you know, that we were under Portuguese colony.
Mm-hmm.
We were they were in Angola almost 500 years. So the roots, you know, the influence of Portuguese, it's not like other countries. You know, we had that Portuguese influence that a lot of people they don't have. They are actually my cousin also. You know, he doesn't have any African name. So his name is Leomaltino Balduino Sebastião João. It's a Portuguese name. There is no any African or indigenous name. Like
from Latin to Portuguese. Yeah.
We got to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah.
Let me tell you why I say that. So I think that may be one of the names we connected. Because, like, and sometimes in Black culture in the U.S., especially if you're descendant of enslaved people, sometimes we do this thing where I'm trying to get my African name. My name is, you know, Mobutu or whatever. But you guys said names and they were Portuguese names. Yeah. Why is that?
Yeah, that's our families.
Yeah.
I don't blame our family as well, because even my grandfather, not my father, my grandfather didn't have any African name. My grandfather, his name was Pedro Sebastião João. Oh, this is Portuguese name. My mother, Engracia Pedro Sebastião, the same thing. You think like I'm the third generation? It would be difficult to have an. But this only happened in the capital city, like. But I had the cousins that they came from interior of the country. They have African names, and it's ironic that when we grew up, when we were in school, we used to discriminate people that have African names because we would, like we used to say like Kapungula, you know, Kajongo. Like when we were in school, like first grade, second grade. When the teacher called the name, you know, Pedro Kabungula, You know, we laugh at the name because we say it's an ugly name, and some people were ashamed, you know, to tell their name, their last name, because we discriminate that ugly name. But now I want to have an African name, but you know, it's too late. It's too
Now
late. So
everybody try to.
you know,
So let me ask y'all this, because I'm gonna follow my questions. But so in Africa, there are people with Portuguese names, because you guys are from you directly from Africa,
yeah,
right?
yes.
Is there ever a time when you want to know what your indigenous ancestor, their name was, or their language was, or do you still speak the language, or how does that work?
You know, we didn't have that. We didn't have that many difficult because we know. We know our grandfather. Our grandfather knew their father and the father, so we didn't have that difficult to know your ancestors because I know my grandfather, you know, and my grandfather knew his father and his grandfather. So we know our language. So we don't have that problem as American have to back up, you know,
Right.
because we know, even though we had that Portuguese influence, but we know our ancestors. So I don't know what.
So there was no need to try to split y'all, because in America they literally tried to, not tried, they did split us up. Like you weren't allowed to keep your kids. You were, they made sure your husband was sold away from you. Y'all didn't have that
No,
kind of colonialism.
we didn't have that. We didn't have that. So we had the under colony. The people didn't live well. Like they were not slave, but they didn't have that problem
I get that.
of separation of the family. As far as I know, we didn't have that problem because I talked a lot with my grandfather, and he used to tell me how things were. They just were discriminate, because being black, and being poor, not in the high society. So, but as far as with the family, they didn't have that problem. They always knew their ancestors. They didn't have that problem to define it then. So,
Wow.
but
on the slavery time, on the colonized time, the British they tried to do that with the different tribes. Like if example, we came all Angolans. They come from Angolas. We Angolans. The tribe or whatever. If you're from south or we from, for example, we from north of Angola. That's the north of Angola is like the example, the capital of Angola we call Luanda. Yeah, is from north side, and we have south side of Angola, or the people we call of Mbundu, and we from north we call Kimbundu. Kimbundu, yeah, we speak it Kimbundu. Example, my mom, my grandfathers, my grandmom, they speak Kimbundu because they from north side of Angola, and on the other side of the north of Angola we have the Bakongos. That's the province from north side of Angola. They border with the Congo, the two Congos, the Congolese people. Yeah, that part is Baza Congo. That's the last side of the map. If you go on the map of Angola, you're gonna see Cabinda. They on the border with the Congolese people there. So they have that Congo influence, and then they become like and then on slavery time the Portuguese they try to separate those tribes, like people they have like what they call in Angola tribalism.
Tribalism.
Yeah, tribalism in English. Yeah, they try to divide us because all the Angolans they come from only one tree. That's the Angolas is from the north side. The Angolans. Yeah, the name of the country they come from Angolans. Angola Kulanji was the Angola Kulanji was the first I think the first king we have on the north of Angola, right?
yeah, well, when the Portuguese came,
Yeah,
the king
and
was
Angola Kulanji, yeah, and then all the Angola Kulanji, all the Angolas they come from the same tree from was Angola Kulanji king come from. And then Angola Falange king, they have his son. That's his son. Later they born. Where they born in Zingamadi.
Mhm.
Zingamadi was one of the king. She was a girl.
She was a queen.
She was a queen in Angola, and yeah, and later on the south side of Angola, that's they born the other one we call Mandumi. Yeah, those king. Yeah, those king. Or in that queen, the queen is Jinga. Some people they like it called Zinga, but it's not Zinga. In my mom language, the dialect we call Jinga. Jinga with G, but some people I know on the line on Google, some people they don't mistake and put the name with the C, Zinga.
Mm.
Yeah, that's see they come more from side of Bakongo people from on top of northern Angola. But yeah, the name with the writing we're writing with the G like Jinga.
Mm.
That's why we pronounce on in my mom language Kimbundu. Yeah, that's where we pronounce his name. And then, so that's they happen. But all those people they come from if you go see like on sub-Saharan of Africa, all those countries there like Zimbabwe, all those tribes, they starting going to Namibia on South Africa too. All those indigenous tribal they come
Mhm.
from same tree. From same tree.
Okay, so we get right to, so what is the history of Angola? I mean, I know you can't, like, what's the basis, like, before the Portuguese showed up, what was Angola? Like, what was it always Angola? Is that a name, is that an indigenous name? Is that a name that was given to them when they were dividing up Africa? Like, what is the history of Angola?
That's a good question. So before the Portuguese, according with the history, there are people from the north. North of Africa. They start to migrate to the south of Africa. You know, they live in Angola. Then they came the Bantu people as well. They come from the north. We don't know exactly which countries now in Africa, but the history only say they came from the north. They came and they founded the Bantu. Then after several years, they formate
they separate
a tribe there.
Some they go to South Africa, some they stop on Namibia side, some they go to other side, the Zimbabwe, other country, those Congo, all those people, like I say, the same. They come from the same tree. We are Bantus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then you know there's the Bantu. Then we as far as we know, the Angolan had six tribes, six main tribes, but the main were the tribe of Angola, and one of the king that we know was Ngola Kiluange. Ngola Kiluange was the king of the kingdom of the Congo, and we don't know that much about how what the answer where we came from the Angola.
Oh, they come there.
That's where we start. The Bantu. We all know that we are from the Bantu tribe.
Just to finish your point. Example, if you go on Congo, if you try to investigate about the Congo, right? So they have the people who still there, but on the Congo never had a king.
The Congo never had a king.
Never. If you go when I don't remember the date, but when they have the convention in Germany, I don't know what I don't remember the date when they have that convention when the European decided Angola or divided the countries in some countries in Africa, for example, like Congo, like Angola. say, okay, Angola limitation is right here on the map, and Congo is right here. Yeah. From that time until right now, yeah, what the story say, if you go on the most on top of North Angola, like Baza Congo, like they have some province that we call Wish and Cabinda. That's the province we can try find a little bit more history about the Congo, reign. What can you say? Kingdom. You're gonna find, that's when you're gonna find what is Angola, what is the Angolans. The Angola people come. The Angolas, we come from the Angola Kluanj king. That's when everything started. And then during that time, the Europeans, they tried to separate those tribes. It was all the tribes, they was from same thing. Because example in Angola we have like
No,
how
before
many? 18.
going there, let explain. You know, the Angola before, right?
Right,
The Angola
before
Yeah, you know what's Angola
Portuguese.
before?
the
You know
Portuguese.
what's Angola before?
No Angola.
No capital, no nothing. All that capital they existed there, or we born on that on a example. I born on the 80s. They born on the 80s. They born the first one is from 82, I think so. Yeah, I'm from 83.
Okay.
But when my grandpaps born on that time, and the capital that doesn't exist. All that beautiful city you see there, that's the Portuguese building before when they come to explore the country. But before this, it was just a jungle, nothing there. That capital doesn't exist. With that name Angola, they come for the Angolas.
Yeah, and the kingdom that was called Dendongo.
Dendongo.
Reign of Dendongo.
It was on the
kingdom
north.
of Dendongo.
North of Angola.
But we had several. We have the kingdom of the Bailundu.
Yeah.
We have the kingdom of Wanyama in the south,
yeah.
part of the south.
They
The
speak
Bailundu is in the central, and kingdom of Dendongo was in the north.
Yeah.
Those are the main tribes, and that what they call Angola. And the capital of those kingdom was Angola. Was the most important kingdom. So, but the Portuguese, they came in 1482.
1482.
1482. One Diogo do Cão was the first Portuguese that came with the Portuguese expansion. And when they arrived in Angola, they were starting doing the first trade. They brought firearms. They brought some technological things, and then when they started trading, then after 100 years, it came another Portuguese, Paulo Dias de Novaes. That's the one that I believe Diogo Cão, when he came in Angola, he came and he started to see, the weakness of the African. They began with the trading, but actually they were starting to see how they can take advantage of those people. They start to see that they start beginning with those trading. They came with the religion, the Christianity, with Catholicism, and they start to to soften the people. They start to study because 100 years later came Paulo Dias de Novaes, and he came all with a lot of came with the family, and also with the more than 400 soldiers.
Yeah.
So very much they just came to stay. They came
came with the church.
They came to stay because they came with the family and the soldiers, and then they start to dominate. Even the king, what his name was, Ngola Kiluanj, then he converted as well.
But it was the
Catholicism.
After his head.
But when you see like the Portuguese want to take over, Angola, he started to fight the Portuguese, but he was weak. even though he had some help with other tribe, but they were not able to fight against the powerful Portuguese. And actually, according to this story, he was decapitated in Luanda. He was beheaded.
Was beheaded where?
In Luanda. In Luanda,
On the
capital city. Then his sister, which is Queen Xingambandi, took over the power. And she fought for some years. She had help with the Dutch, the people from Holland, because they also were some people from Bailun, from Coiama. She gathered some tribes to fight against the Portuguese, but the Portuguese were more powerful than them, and they end up losing the war. That was the colonial. When they start the colonial era, and the Portuguese they just dominated. They stay in Angola for more than 400 years.
Wow.
Yes.
When did they leave? Do you know about?
Officially they left in
Right now,
Like right
November.
now?
no, we're still
I
there.
didn't say when did they ideas.
we still
leave,
have
when
the
did they
Golan.
left?
They left in November 11, 1975.
So it's right. This is right now. It's
So,
not.
yeah, that's like 44
44
years.
years ago.
Right now.
Yeah, but they just
19th
left. They left, of course, but the economic they stayed there. The economically they still were dominating Angola.
The same
And,
thing happened in South Africa.
And,
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said. That area of kingdom was the before the colonialism. When the convict came, and probably that was the colonial area. Was some paradox thing is like Angola was very important to Brazil because they sent a lot of slaves to Brazil. A lot of slaves that are in Brazil, they came from Angola because Brazil also was a Portuguese colony.
Right.
They have that connection. They took the slave from Angola to go to Brazil
And
to work in sugar cane and wood and cultivate things and all those
Cocoa,
factories. Cacao. And it seems like Brazil was the colony of Angola, but not. But that was not the case because Brazil also was a Portuguese colony.
The good thing is they live. How long they stay in Brazil? Portuguese. 300 years or
Almost because the
Yeah,
Brazil.
they still here right now.
Yeah, but Brazil they gained the independence fast because
So fast,
they had the problem
so,
with the Portuguese king. They had the problem with the one that they sent to Brazil, so they didn't want to be dependent of Portugal. So they very much were rebellious. That's why Brazilian they took the independence first. But in Angola was one of the latest country in Africa to get the independence. Yeah, in November 11, 1975.
Yeah.
45
Right now.
years ago.
On 19th century.
Yeah. So, with that history being said, how many tribes and ethnic groups are there in India?
Let me see. In the north, we have 3 provinces, which is Cabinda, Wish, and Zaire. They are Bakongo. They speak Fiot. Bakongo. They have the Bakongo. And in the east, we have Lunda Sul, Lunda North, Mushiko. They are the Chokwe. They are Chokwe. And in the center, we have Malange. And then we have in the west, Luanda. Then the Kwanzaa North, they are the Kimbundu. They speak Kimbundu. They are the Kimbundu. So, and in the south, we have the Ovumbundu. Bie, Wambu, Benguela. Those people, they are of Vimbundu. And in the more south, the Kunene, they are the Kwanyama. And the Kwandukubangu, there's parts in Namibia. In the Willa, we have the Nyaneka. In Namibia, we have Mumuilas. And in Namibia, we have the Mukubalis. So very much we have 8 tribes. We have more Sams, because we have more. But the main that we really know, it's around 8 to 9 tribes.
80 to 90 tribes?
Eight, number
Eight.
eight. Yeah,
Okay,
we don't have that 100 like in
Okay.
Nigeria.
Ooh, yeah.
No.
Okay, so
No.
eight.
Yeah, so those are the most known
Okay.
because we also said that we have some Khoisan, like in that area of Kwandu Kubangu, and then we have some Khoisan, those small short people with some red hair.
Mhm.
You say like they also have some, but we can count, the Chokwe, the Bakongo, Kimbundu, Ovimbundu, Ngangela, Yaneka, Kwanyama, Mukubaj, Mumuila. So we have more, but
Wow.
those are the mains that we can tell. Yeah, 9, 10. Yeah,
Wow.
yes.
Okay, so that's in
The
ethnic
tribes,
groups and tribes.
the ethnic groups that
So the official
known.
language is Portuguese.
yes.
But do y'all have indigenous languages?
Those on that
So the tribes
those are
say
language,
language.
yes.
Okay,
When we say
okay.
Kimbundu is a language, Ombundu is a language, Yaneka is a language, Kwanyama is a language, Mokubal is a language. Those are language. Each
As
tribe they have
example, we're from North. My mom, I understand, but I don't speak 100% fluently. My mom language, but we speak Kimbundu.
What's hers is Kimbundu?
Kimbundu, yeah.
Kimbundu.
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 Yes.
I be loving the accents like Kimbundu. Like
Kimbundu.
I'll put the look. Yeah.
This is Kimbundu. This is the language where it came from the main kingdom of Angola, which is Reino do Ndongo. Reino do Ndongo is kingdom of Ndongo, where it came of this tribe. The most important tribe of the kingdom was the Reino do Ndongo.
Wow.
Yeah.
So with that being said, 'cause I'm thinking about culture. Do y'all have official? So culture is language, definitely your tribe. What is the spiritual tradition? Before Christianity came, because we know that they always say the Europeans came with their books or whatever, their spiritual books or whatever.
The Christians,
Christianity and
Christianity,
Islam.
and
Y'all have Muslims there?
they're coming now.
Those
there's
days,
yeah.
yeah, because of influence, a Muslim commercial. Like here, those guys open store like liquor stores, and those guys go there right now, and they marry Angolan girls, and then they try to convert those women and the kids they born already on Islam. Example, Islam, African Islam countries like what I'm talking is example like Mali.
Mm-hmm.
Mali, one part of Senegal, and Benin, and those North African countries, yeah, and it's a little bit, they're on the Muslim continent. Those Tunisians, they go in Angola and they marry Angolan sisters. And
so, what did y'all believe before those what they call it Abrahamic religions came? That's like Islam, Judaism, Christianity. Before those things came to Angola, what was our ancestors doing in terms of spiritual practices?
That's what we are trying to start, because as you know, even our name, we don't have our ancestors' name. The Portuguese very much, they were able to kill our history. Those 400 years, they were able to kill how our ancestors, they lived culturally, spiritually. We really don't know. We are trying to start to find out how our ancestors they used to live, because we didn't believe in the God in the way the Christianity was. They live it spiritually. But
if you go try to investigate very well, you're gonna see that in Cuba. If you go on the Afro-Cubans, you're gonna see a little bit. What a voodoo come, they come from those countries, Benin, Senegal, Angola, all the same practically voodoo things. And then if you go on Brazil, Bahia is in south Brazil. Yeah, if you go on Brazil and Bahia, you're gonna see all the traditional things, the way that those Afro-Brazilian ladies cooking. We call Afro-Brazilian mamas. It's like those mamas is like something like respect those big ladies.
Yeah, we call them big mamas.
In Angola, we call those mamas. Yeah, those,
pretty much what he's saying that is true, because of the slavery.
Switch your chair over just a little bit.
Oh, a little bit.
And I want you to scoot in a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Bam, you're great.
Because
So,
of the slavery, even the slavery here in the United States, they kept the cultures better than the people that they stay in Angola. I'm
Got you.
saying Angola
Cubans say that all the
particularly,
time.
particularly because the Portuguese were able to kill, our culture, because they stayed like almost 500 years. If you go to Brazil and Salvador, Rio de Janeiro, you can see that the way they have
They
that
dress.
capoeira,
Yeah.
the way they dress, the way they cook.
Capoeira.
Capoeira, they come from Angola.
Yes.
If you go investigate it, if you go to Angola and try to investigate on the south of Angola, they have what a tribal we call Mumuila. Yeah, that tribal, the way they dance, the dance they have, that's where the capoeira come from.
So in this case, to know the way the people live in Angola before, it's better study to go to Brazil, go to South America.
Yeah.
Like because I believe like those witchcraft,
Peru,
those
yeah,
witchcraft
you
is the way it's it was like they're spiritual. They used to have
So
those.
capoeira is a spiritual dance. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
On that during that
Capoeira.
time, when those slaves going to Brazil, for example, in Angola, it was a dance. It was a dance. It was like a protest dance. But during that time, on the slavers, and we practice that art we call art martials.
Martial
Yeah.
arts.
Art.
Now it's part of
Around
sport.
it's part of sport. During these days, it's a part of sport. But during that time, it's not. It was only dance. And when the slaves was going to those countries, like from Brazil, the Portuguese take the slaves, and they slaves they started practicing this like not only dance, but to protect the colonization, the white people, the Portuguese, and to practice and fight with about this. That's when the capoeira they on Brazil that's evolving. What do you say? Developing more in Brazil because. But a lot of people they think the capoeira they're born in Brazil. No, they're born in Angola.
Angola.
Yeah.
And I did know that.
Yeah, it's there. Yeah, if you go and try to investigate it on the south of Angola, province of Lubango, the tribal Mumuilas, the way they dance, the way they practice, that's the capoeira's movements they come from. Yeah.
So how do y'all feel when you see the sprinklings of your culture? I mean, of your country and your culture that came from your country. How does that, like y'all in America, y'all come to United, y'all look like two American brothers if I ever see. Unless y'all open your mouth, I would just think y'all Raheem or somebody from around the way.
Yeah.
But how do y'all feel when you see that, when you see capoeira, and then sometimes the people who are doing it don't look nothing like you, because they always have to bleach out things that come from Africa. Like somehow it's like they make you think it comes from Europe. Even when you look at the map, they make Africa look like every other set. But Africa is big enough that all the so-called continents can fit inside of Africa. So how do you feel when you see your culture, like things that your people developed?
Well, we feel like wow. It is my stuff. Especially when here, for example, here in California, we have some Brazilian community. Some Brazilian community, those guys they practice capoeira here. Yeah, sometimes they come and say when I say, "Oh, where you from Angola?" I say, "Oh man, that's the capoeira come from," and they respect as they say, "When you're the guys, all those are from Brazilian, they know all they come in." And if you go to Brazil, the way those on the Bahia, on Salvador, the way those ladies cooking there, you see the typical food is Angolan.
What's a typical Angolan food? Give me just an example.
Well, they Portuguese Afro because we mix the Portuguese style food with the Afro thing, and
it's like soul food with black folks.
It's something different. It's delicious. We have a lot of type.
Is it like yuca? Like like when I went to Honduras, yuca's really
yuca is better.
It's the main because
especially
with the yuca,
yeah.
you can boil, or you can dry. Then you make a funge.
Yeah.
Is it like a bread or a cracker or something?
No, it's like cassava bread, like when the corn, the corn.
Yes.
Yeah, the flour.
Yeah.
They do, with the yuca, you also can make a funge. What is the
Okay.
in Kimbundu tribe is the main food is
Yeah.
funge. It's like you boil the powder of
Mhm.
cassava, then it's became
I think that's what
Yeah.
I'm talking about.
On the other countries, on other African countries like Kenya,
fufu.
Malay, they call for food.
Okay.
Food, yeah. And
It's the main. It's the
Funge,
typical.
yeah.
It's the typical funge with the fish. It can be a fried
meat.
or grilled with the tomato sauce. That's the typical food. And we also have
Oh, that tomato sauce.
tomato sauce, a fish, and a funge. Yeah, we use the corn, some then the rice, the salad and the fried fish, chicken. Yeah, but the
With the
typical
beans, they have it.
bean.
The way we cook the only thing I like more is the beans. The way we cooking beans there is something extraordinary. Is only there. And then if you go to Brazil, like it's on Salvador Bahia, you're gonna see the same thing.
Yeah.
And the way the ladies, those mama, the way they dress, those African
Yeah.
things, the way they put and then the way they made those, they come from north side. If you go on the capital in Luanda, we have what they call in the
Island.
Highland. We have some island on the capital on the north of Angola, and they still have one northern people. Northern, we call them Northenians. Yeah, no people from north there. Those mama there. If
You say Nathaniel?
Well, it's
To the
just
north.
sounding like it. Yeah, from north.
Yes.
In Spanish,
Yeah, that sounds like
Northenians.
okay.
Yeah. If you go there, you're gonna see those mama there in Luanda, on the capital. It's the same thing you're gonna see those mama there in Bahia, Salvador.
Gotcha.
The same way they dress,
Wow.
the food is the same way. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's something beautiful.
So you have a question. Somebody said, "What is the name of the religion that's associated with capoeira?"
Wow, the name
Yeah,
of
I know.
religion.
At least in,
During that time,
Angola.
during that time, yeah, it's well,
You know what?
it's we no idea, but we need to.
There was
Another-
that wasn't
another
associated with the religion.
Religion, yeah.
No,
It
that's
wasn't
what-
just it wasn't just dance. It was the tradition dance. They use it there on that tribal, and then most of the time, especially when they have like a we call in mango or fico, when they wanna when they grow they grow already.
This is the
On the time
marriage
it's supposed to
tradition.
be married,
Marriage
yeah,
tradition.
and then they practice that dance, yeah.
So
The people, the families, they reunion on that tribe, or the people, what the people doing? They reunion all the family, all the village. They reunion and then they kill. One. They kill a cow, or they kill some animals and eat all that night. All the tribe, or they have sacrifice that animal, and then they have dance, and then they have tradition drink. They drink and they eat meat on that day. And celebrate, for that girl already.
So
Yeah.
I think in terms of religion, I always recognize religion as something that we always got to put a name to for some reason. I'm just saying.
Mhm.
But in spiritual practices, like some people call ancestral worship, but you go somewhere that maybe Palo. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe that's what they call it.
Yeah.
But it really at the
Sure.
root of it is ancestral worship, or if you're into nature, like Native Americans are known to be in some cultures to be the keepers of the earth. So everything with them is earth-based.
It is.
They may not have a name for it, because when I hear you all talking about, even I've been to Bahia and I've been to the Boa Morte Festival. You see all those women with those really big dresses and just looking queenly, basically doing their traditional. So in Angola, where they're absolute, for example, right, and see in Nigeria, that's what you're talking about. In Nigeria, they have the Orishas or the Yoruba. I mean, for example, in Nigeria, the Yoruba have Ifa or the Orishas.
Yeah.
So that's their name for it in Nigeria. are there names for spiritual systems that y'all used in that time?
We have it. We have it, but we don't. We need to investigate more.
Okay, so you
on-
hit
on
on the
the
name. That's a
other-
great way to reply. Like, I don't know.
I know
I ain't
this.
gonna make up nothing.
I know. This is the first time we hear. I know we're gonna have
Yeah. I would love this
more
conversation.
conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, but next time we're gonna continue tell about this. Yeah, but for sure they have. We have like those countries say to like if you go on see the Afro-Cubans, you're gonna see that. We're gonna see that. You see Angolan things there, and then those stuff because during that time when the Portuguese colonizers starting come on the country, that's the when they starting introduce Catholicism. That's why on Angola you see whatever if you go on the south or north is 89% the older people, the elders, they're more Catholic. The country is is
more
more Catholicism, and then later they come a little bit like I say like 10 and 50% Protestant and Methodism. Yeah, and then they introduce on the country, but most 85% of the country they're Catholic. They're Catholic.
So what brought the two of you to America? I'm just curious.
Say that again.
What brought you all to America, to the United States? To North America?
Okay.
Like, why'd y'all come over here? I'm just kidding. I'm just shut up.
Yeah.
But what made y'all come to the United States?
That's a good question.
These are, I'm gonna get that to you first.
I mean, to be honest, it's just looking for a better opportunity. It's that's because in Angola, after the Portuguese left, our leaders, we thought that they were fighting for a better Angola, because they didn't want to live in under colonialism. We thought, okay, they are fighting to have a better Angola, independent, so that we can all have opportunities, all have dignity, all have a wealthy. But when the Portuguese left, we stayed during a civil war. That we had more than 22 years of civil war, because we have three main political party. We have MPLA, FNLA, and UNITA. So they didn't agree, who's gonna be the leader after the Portuguese left. So they very much went in a civil war that started in 1975, only finished in 2002.
Wow, so that's very
very new.
We take the Portuguese out of the country, but the
fighting.
civilian war.
Basically, this all during this period, so we were in a civil war, and when the war finished, the war finished, but 2002, of course, but we didn't see any development and opportunity. So we only see neo-colonialism. The people that were in power, instead of governing the way they're supposed to, we see like they were enriched themselves. You only see, the son of the ministers, the son of the president, the daughter of the president, the cousins of this governor. They were just giving the richness for themselves.
Arming
So
Angolan.
that's why
They
that's
started
why
in
the
the
people-
US on the big goods on
the people that they didn't have a family or family or people in the government, they were out, and they don't have that opportunity. So that's why many people start to have that mentality to immigrate, just to go to Europe. Because me and him, we grew up together. So when we were like 14, 15, we were thinking going to South Africa, going to Portugal, because we didn't see ourselves developing in Angola. Because the way it's like those people that were in the power, they think like the government belonged to them, like the richness, like the
Y'all had
wealthy.
elitist money, y'all.
They lead. They think like they only share among their family friends. It's only like 8. It's only like 5%. The rest of a 95, they are discriminate. They are poor. So if you don't struggle, if you don't struggle yourself, you can't make it. You'll be under the line of poverty.
And
So,
it's a rich country. All African countries, they
No,
rich.
in Angola,
Only
it's-
corruption.
and
they
Angola is one
struggle
of the
Africa.
richest. Angola, literally, Angola is one of the richest countries in Africa. You know, beside South Africa, Congo, Nigeria, but Angola is top of 5 richest country in Africa. We have almost everything. We have oil, diamond, you know, gold, iron. We have fish. We have natural minerals. We have wood. We have so we have pretty much everything. But you don't see that thing in the people. You don't see that richness in the people like it. So that's why people have that mentality to immigrate.
You don't believe it. They have families there. They survive with $2 a day. $2.
$2
They have families there. They survive
That's
from
$6 a
$2.
month.
Yes.
That's unheard of.
They don't have it. So
That's why I came here, because I didn't see myself like live in that situation. So, okay, but fortunately, I came here in the United States, you know, to look for a better opportunity.
So what did you do when you got here? Just
But
did you go to school when you came? Did you what did
actually,
you
I came with a visa students because okay, let me go to America to study. You know, probably I will come back here in Angola to, you know, to share my knowledge. But I came here, and I like United States. I said, wow, this is really a place of opportunities, and I end up staying here. But I came here. I went to school. You know, I graduated American River College, but was not that easy. What I thought it would be, because
when
if
you
you no when I came here, so that dream, that dream, yeah, that dream comes to become a nightmare, because here if you don't have a people.
Yeah.
Because like in Angola, you can stay like 1 year, 2 years without working. You can sleep in your cousin, your friend, in your uncle. You can live like that. But here, no.
No.
You have to work.
Yeah.
That's why
right.
when I finished college, I know I had to work. So and I needed to work, but it was not that easy. It was very difficult. And especially in Angola, we don't have that big community like in Nigeria and like Ethiopian,
like Kenya.
like Kenyan. No, we have few. You don't see 20 people in the Sacramento, Angolan. No, you don't see. You only see 10. Yeah. So it's not a big. When you don't have a people to look up for, you lost. You don't have a guidance. You lost. So. And but thanks. I made it. So start working, gain my independence, and I'm here. So pretty much I came here to look for a better opportunity. Yeah, to live the dream country.
All Angolans, they come from the same thing. Nobody coming here. No, you don't gonna see any Angolan coming here with a lot of money or rich. Coming to be a businessman from Angola with the money already to invest in America.
Right.
Yeah, everybody trying. Some they have successful on school. Some they focus on the job. Whatever you focus when you come here, because I believe it. Nothing is impossible here in America. It's a country. If you come to be focused on the school, you're gonna be focused on the school. You're gonna finish, and you're gonna have a better job in that. Compared with the country we came from, Africa, yeah, it's different. It's different. Yeah, if you come and focus on the job, be a businessman, you're gonna be a businessman. That's why American is. They give us opportunity. They give us opportunity.
I'm about to ask y'all a hard question.
Yeah.
He said, yeah. So do you think when you're being here, do you think sometimes you find that some of us kind of fantasize the way we see Africa?
Yeah, we talk. I have a lot of American friends. I have white friends, who black Afro Americans. Yeah, all the time. Most of the time, we discussing about those kind of things. Yeah, we.
Maybe like in Africa,
Yeah.
all of us are together. In
Yeah.
Africa, we're all on the same accord.
Yeah.
In Africa, because this is stuff I'm here, because I don't do fantasy at all. Like, I mean,
It
I'm a
is.
realist, so
Yeah.
I know people are human beings all over the planet, but sometimes I'm often wondering what Africans from the continent think when you start hearing those of us who just rediscovered our ancestry, if you will, talk about Africa like if it is this magical place
Yeah.
of what am I trying to say? That's this place of we all get along, we're all one people, we all eat the same things, we
No,
all pray the same things, we
That's
all,
not
you
true.
know, like, you know what I mean?
Fantasize. Yes, I know. I know.
Man,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
That's a good word.
Yeah,
I just wonder.
That's not true.
Yeah,
I
but
just
that's-
wonder.
That's not true.
But back then, yes, Africa was like that. But I think all the countries, you know, with this capitalism mentality,
The
things-
Westerns,
they-
the
they-
Westerns,
start
yeah,
things-
they,
things start to change.
Yeah.
You know, there is not that unity like people think. Okay, they all eating something. They are very happy.
we have that dream.
No,
We have that
that's-
dream.
Well,
to
you
have-
said y'all had that dream too, if y'all all coming together.
Yeah, but like I say, or if you see when we started the interview, when I'm talking, what are the Westerns doing, the European doing? They try to destroy that one. Africa is a beautiful continent. Africa is what they say in English, berço da humanidade. What do you say, berço da humanidade?
The birth of humanity.
Or humanity is Africa. All
The birth
thing
of the
they
mountain.
yeah,
I got that.
if
Okay.
people go try to go there to get more information, all those they come from Africa. Everything come from there. But no, I don't say about it just because I'm gonna use the word here, white people. Yeah, but that's the
I get
Europeans
that.
doing.
Europeans doing it. I
Yeah,
get
they
that.
try to destroy all that on the mentality. You go in Africa, example right now in South Africa, you see the black people. They are Africans. They from South Africa. They are South African guys. They try to spank it. Somebody because it's from Mozambique. It's African too. It's a brother.
Right.
If somebody is from Congo because they don't want, they think the other African guy people because he's from Nigeria, we spank him until die. I say weeks ago, I see somebody from one guy from Congo. The South African people, they put him on the fire. They spank him. That's what they happen right now on the South Africa. See, brother try to kill brother. It's something, you know, like you when you see like we see only that story on when all the countries they was colonized. For example, in South Africa, when the English people they colonized South Africa, but and then you see those brothers they eating each other there in Africa. Yeah, and then if you go talking a little bit about political, if you go, the guy who tried to unite this was the Libyan ex-president Gaddafi.
Okay, that's
Gaddafi,
right.
that's the guy they have that dream. He tried to unite Africa again, and then what is the Westerns doing? The same thing. They killed they eliminate the guy. They killed the guy.
Yeah,
And then
they did.
that's the world is going. But yeah, that's why Africa, you see all the countries, example like here, we don't say bad, but we have bad feelings about Nigerians. And then maybe if you go to Ghana, you're gonna see Ghanaians too. Ghanaians or Tanzania, they're gonna see the same thing about Angolans. Well,
Right.
the Angolan, we don't like Angolans.
Right.
You know, but all we brothers. We're supposed to be united. That's the dream we have, but we can't because about political things and the Westerns, the Europeans, they destroy all that thing, African wise. But if it was Africa supposed to be united, oh damn, Africa is supposed to be a powerful continent. Supposed to be.
So let me ask you this: what has been your interactions with African Americans? Because some of us have Angolan ancestry and don't know it, especially if you're on that Eastern Seaboard.
We don't know. Yeah.
We don't. To be honest, we don't have that connection.
Yeah.
We don't have that connection with the Afro Americans. I have friends, Afro Americans friends when I was in college, but
We don't feel like
even
it.
my
We don't feel.
barbershop, I always have that friendship, with barbershop, we have. But I don't. I think like the Afro Americans, they are not interested. You know, I
Yeah.
think like they don't. They are not interested. They don't care.
Yeah.
Some of them, I'm not going to generalize, but
I
some
get
of them
that.
they don't. Think they don't want to be attached, you know, with that
Yeah.
story of Africa because it's like a big over thing,
Yeah.
something like have to do with the, you know, the slavery, with the people
Mm.
with the underdevelopment,
Man,
people,
all those kind
and
of things.
also the media they portrayed Africa like as a better place. When I came here, you know, when I was in the college, you know, people used to ask me some kind of weird equation, like, you know, if you ever seen a lion, if you ever see a giraffe, like I used to live in the jungle.
I see on the
You know,
park. I need to go to the park to
Yes,
see it too.
it's
Yeah.
like it's
Ah,
like we
Africa.
only see as a place of poverty, garbage, and like people that don't eat, like malnutrition people, you know. But if people go to
Yeah.
if you know you've been to South Africa, if you go to Angola, you will see, oh,
Yeah,
there is no
that's
that
like-
many different, just like some place here.
Right.
They
And
have the people
I've
they
been-
drive a Ferrari.
I have-
Lamborghini
I
there.
have been to some place here, and actually I was in Auckland yesterday. I was like, wow, this is worse than Africa. I was in Auckland, and
Yeah, coming around the freeway.
yes,
Yeah.
and I was like, I want
That's
those
real
ghetto
talk,
there.
man.
I want to get to
Wow.
880. Then I was
That
like,
loop.
wow.
Go to
Yeah.
Louisiana,
This
go
is
to
place-
Detroit,
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I've been.
That's
so I
so
was-
true.
Philadelphia.
I
You're gonna
was
see
a
some
truck
ghetto
driver, so I know those
Yeah,
this place
of
in
course.
Chicago, Louisiana, and LA. So people are not informed about Africa. They are
It's a
they
beautiful
are, they are
place.
not informed. So and they think Africa is just thing to do with the bad thing. So and I don't see that connection. And even especially with the sisters, I don't see. It's hard to see Afro Americans related to different with the Angola African women.
girl,
It's like
woman.
they don't get along each other. So I don't see that.
I don't
I
know.
don't-
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
I
what we
don't
see.
see-
That's what we see.
I don't see that woman
The
like
same thing with boys.
it's like they don't get attracted. You don't see that
And
connection.
then it's more. That's true. That's true. We can cry about because
No,
of
I'm
that.
going that
Too.
look, but I know
Yeah.
there's some truth.
I mean,
there.
I hear-
ain't
I mean,
gonna lie.
But because
You're gonna see it too. And
because I was the president of Angolan community for I here in Sacramento for Burma 8 years and in LA for 4 years, and I saw that
I can believe it.
Afro American a man can
don't see it.
date Afro
African
American lady, a white, but
Yeah.
if you see a man, an Afro American man, to get
Afro-American.
like African lady,
girl.
it's very difficult.
Yeah, you
So,
don't see that.
yeah,
You're
it's
supposed to
like
see it. Difficult. to
they
see
don't Afro Americans they don't really care.
Yeah.
They're not interested with
that.
Africa.
It's more easy. You see white American dude. They marry one African woman or one African lady, and you see Afro American brother marry African sister. Yeah, it's something like well, a lot of people they don't see. I don't know why, but we see that. We see that here. I don't know why.
So I'm gonna
That's-
read one of the comments from the room because no, I'm right on this. So one sister
Yeah.
said it's very important for more people to be informed about the conditions that cause the distrust. Because she has Angolan ancestry, and she basically saying she has 34%.
Yeah.
And then she also going to say, "We are the attributes. What are your attributes that you are bringing to the table of the connection?" So she's asking, "What do y'all?" And I'm not going front. That's a good question, Ian, because even when I'm around other cultures, when I see black people, I don't care where they're from. I
Where
don't
they
care if they're
from?
from the moon. I'm gonna be like,
That's-
"Oh my God!" Immediately I get
What's that
excited.
question again?
Her question is, what
That's
are
the
your
mentality we have.
attributes that you're bringing to the table to make connections? Do you make, is there some kind of things you're looking for in the connection?
I think
a great question.
that's a really hard question. But my viewpoint would be to be open, because I see. It's not. I'm not trying to judge, but it's something
not
like
easy,
I
yeah.
see.
It's not
So
easy
it's something
for
like I see, and I'm telling
brothers.
how it is.
Yeah.
It's just about to be open, and to be able to learn.
Yeah.
Because
The culture.
when I came here, I was trying to learn to understand why African Americans are very aggressive. Because when I start to to learn, the situation. I understand why, and I can't blame because because the Africans that came here in the United States, they were more discriminated than we that stayed there, our ancestors. So yeah, I think like the African American were more brutal, more discriminated. When I started this to read, I understand why even the women are very aggressive. You don't see like you see the aggressiveness. Yes, it's like a defensive mechanism that they have. So I don't blame them. I just think like we need to have like this kind of discussion, to learn from each other.
More.
To open so that they can learn from Africa, we can learn from African American perspective. This is something like we can bring to the table just to understand why. Because I think like especially like we say Afro Americans, they don't care. They don't want to relate with the African.
When I don't know
it's
where
hard
from,
to see any Afro American man with it. Oh, I married an African.
Jamaican,
Oh no,
but the real African, 100% person they born and they come here to America.
Yeah, I seen in Arizona, white man, he was married with Angolans.
Yeah.
So
you see the guy more proud. Yeah, he's white and they marry African girl. I see a lot. Kenya, I have a friend. Yeah.
They always trying to slide in. Because you know what? They like authentic things.
Yeah.
They like authenticity.
They are open and they like to experiment new things.
Yeah.
And they are open-minded as well. Not
that's
like
part of their survival.
Not like
You gotta admit that with white people, part of their survival. There's almost like a conquering nature. Not like they set out to do it, but if you I was from the U.S., but I remember learning in history that they were explorers. Really, they were conquerors, but they used the word explorer. So for them, they'll be so curious. Like I dress like this every day. More than like they have to stop. Oh my God! Even if I'm not gonna look their way, they're gonna make their way over to tell me that they like what I got on. Yeah. Because they're really drawn to like real stuff. They don't like carbons. They like real. They don't have fake African mask. They're like, no, I went to Africa and got this mask that I bought off somebody. I probably cheat out of money, but still. So I feel like that's a part of the discussion that I think we need to be having. Because even when I learned today, like I know about colonization, like Wakanda has Black Panther has made the colonizer word very popular, but
just to say something about Wakanda. The real Wakanda story is from Congo side. A lot of people they have no idea. They think it's from other side of Africa. They come from Congo. The real Wakanda story.
I can believe that.
And what do you say? Like the white people, they have curiosity. This is thing like we as a Black we don't have because we learn when we have that curiosity. Oh, where you from? We don't see like that in the Black people. Like they don't really, you can meet with the Black people with Afro American, but they don't have that. They have opportunity to learn from us, but they don't take advantage. But when you talk with white people, they you say like an hour explaining them, and so you say like they are hungry to learn,
But that's because, and I'm not making excuses, but I always got to jump in here and get some education. That's because people have gone all over the planet and made them be as free as they wanted to be. And they confined everybody else. They confined, they went into people's homes and be like, I'm gonna let you live in the bathroom, I'm gonna take up your whole damn house. And so when you're white, you feel like if a white person wants to be a lamp pole and they went outside with a light bulb, one of us will come and act like they're a lamp pole. Because that's how free they feel. But I do think that more of us are waking up, because I will say this, I think Black Panther and some folks really made us feel very proud that there is possible. Because to me, that whole film was about us talking about the continental African, for lack of a better word, and the diaspora African, for us to get this conversation. Because some of us feel like, why didn't y'all come get us? One dude explained to me, he said, if somebody kidnapped your brother, that don't mean you didn't want to go get him, but where was you gonna go? You ate for him, like it was like because then it was you that they sold. Everybody wasn't in the diabolical scheme to sell people.
I know.
But we don't talk like that.
I know. Yeah. To get the record straight, it's not like the white people went there in Africa to steal. No. That was a negotiation. That was a trade. Our kings, they sold some of their brothers because the white people gave them, firearms. They gave them a mirror. They gave them sugar, some things like they don't have. And our king, they gave them, they trade. Of course, some then at the end they were some brutality and some they didn't want to go, but that they allowed. It's not like the white people came and put the slave in the ship and no, that was trade. That was trade. That was a business. So one better things that people came here. So our ancestors also they have to blame because they allowed that business. They allowed that slave trade. So
I agree. I think that's where healing starts. Though it's kind of like when we choose to do something, and I get there's many systems. My mom said there's a lot of things against us, but we still have free will. So my mother was a free will person. Like, look here, like whatever you choose to do, you got to take responsibility for it. So my mom didn't allow me to have excuses. But I also think a lot of healing. I have a lot of respect when people say, "Yeah, I did it. That's a choice I made. Yes, I'm gonna stand by that." Then it'd be like, "Well, we ain't had no choice." It's something to say, okay. Because when I go to countries, I study the people that's there. I only go to countries where there are black people. I'm not gonna front. Like even if I'm in Latin America, where are the black people? Because y'all got more black people in Latin America than you have in the United States. So I know that there are African people there. And so for me, when I go places, especially when I travel to Africa, I try to be open-minded, not have a judgment. Sometimes it can be kind of hard because I'm not gonna lie, as an African American, sometimes I feel a way when I don't speak a language. I feel a way when I don't like you talked about all those tribes and the languages. I speak English and they ain't even perfect. You know what I'm saying? So it's okay to say I'm feeling that sense of loss, but what is not okay is for me to be pissed off and not do anything to gain what I think I've lost. So whether that's language or culture or food or dance or music or whatever it is, you got to reclaim that. Or when I see other black people, because I do love black folks, I do love African people. So I get excited. I'm like, oh my God, that person was black. That person was black. That person was black. Oh my God, I can't believe, girl, he was black, but he from, so I feel like we just have to, I think other people will come along after they see this happening. They will just come along because the truth of the matter, we do want to be connected to you. Because part of being hurt is feel like y'all act like y'all ain't with us. It's like, dude, we didn't even know you was over here. We didn't even know I mean, I heard some of my Africans really say, we didn't learn about y'all in our history. We really did not.
Yeah, it's a matter of communication, learning, because even something, some our history about Africa, about Angola, I'm learning here because even the education, it's limited in Angola. You don't learn. You see, the Portuguese, they stayed in Angola more 400 years, but they didn't have even a university. Like
they didn't have a university.
Like for
y'all to go to, or what?
Like before they left before they left Angola, they didn't have a university in Angola. Like so, they were not interested in education.
Why not?
They were not interested in education. So you learn more here about Africa than you in Africa learn about Africa.
Right on.
Yeah. So you go to Europe university, you find the books of some of our leaders, of some of our history, than in Angola. So what can I say? If some African American they don't know, it's because they don't want to be autodidact. They don't want to teach themselves, because here you have a sort of resource to know.
And then the other part, and I agree with everything you said. I think the other part is we do have anti-blackness, and it exists. I'm just so keeping that solid. We do have where people aren't proud to be black. There'll be people mixed with 2% white, and they be like, "Oh my God, I'm 2%, dude. That are you kidding me?"
That's what I said. I wish now when I used to when I was in a college, some of our classmates, I see they're black, but when I say what are your sisters say, I'm Indian. I was like, Indian. As far as they're not Indian, I'm like the indigenous. It's very different. I don't see how you are Indian.
But that comes from a place.
Indian, like those Indian, like
I know.
They're black.
It's easier. It's easier to say, okay, I'm half white. I would accept than to say Indian, because I don't see any Indian. So
you see black nose, black African nose, black.
But you do understand where that comes from. No, for real. So I heard it in two different ways. One of the ways that was explained to me is that nobody wanted to be mixed with white, because if you was mixed with white, that meant that somebody was raped. Nobody wanted to claim the rapist. At least back in the day.
Oh.
Now people claim to rapists because we kind of sick right now. But back in the day, like I'd rather say I mixed with Indian than to say I mixed with white.
You're kind of
Because it's obvious.
discrimination.
Right. So it's
They
kind of
wanna
like I don't want to
discriminate.
because it's a
They want to be
brutality.
associated with the white race.
Yeah, no, yeah, but you would not want to claim that. You would be you were like, no, we're Native American because to say you mixed with white people, it was no love story. That was all brutality. That was uses a form of terrorism on you to rape your women, and they rape men as well. But that's a whole other story. So like that, but it's a fact.
Yeah.
I don't want to get that out. Well,
That's
I
true.
think sometimes we do that. But what I find though, so this is the wordplay I use on people. So somebody, but here, look, this is what I do. When people talk about, oh, mixed, whatever, I say, well, great, I'm a pure blood. And they'll be like, what's that? I'm like, yeah, I made all of y'all. So I'm the original.
Yeah.
And so there's something about when you take the play on words and make people understand, like, I'm not trying to be you no way, because I made all of this. There is something about celebrating and being proud of being African that flips that. I think part of that with the Black Panther film, I'm not trying to be fake, it was such a phenomenon. There were people wanting to learn to wrap their hair, wanting to wear their natural, just us being able to wear our natural hair is a, I mean, that's how much they broke people down in slavery. Like, nothing about you is beautiful. Everything about yourself I'm gonna use against you. But to see people totally embracing the way they naturally look, that's groundbreaking.
Yeah.
That's not, you weren't supposed to do that. You were supposed to really hate yourself, hate your ancestors who survived. You were supposed to design to do all of that. And then you flip the script and start going home. But all I say to my people who are trying to do that, because I travel a lot myself, I always say, do not take there what was given to us. Stay home with that.
Yeah.
Don't do Liberia. Don't do that.
You see the same thing you see like when Wakanda come out, everybody, all black community, all entire world, the people that come so proud to see that movement because we grow up. I only watching those white cartoons. I never see any
Tarzan
black.
in Africa swinging from trees and none of them talk with the white people.
If you go see the real story, we have Shaka Zulu in South Africa. It's supposed to be a war movie for so long to educate the kids because that was a real story of Shaka Zulu when happened on South Africa. Right. That guy was a real warrior. They fight a lot with the white people to try to defend his tribe in South Africa. And then right now, Wakanda, and when people say, "Oh, wow, for so long." Fantasy worked.
I think it started a good conversation. Yeah. I think like Killmonger, part of me related to Killmonger. I'm not saying it was like him to kill people. But I think we'd be so angry until somebody sit down and say, so any of y'all seen the movie Coco? That's a cartoon. I'm sorry.
Coco.
But it's a Latino yeah. And the beauty of Coco, I'm just skipping past them because it's like that's ancestral worship in the way of what they're doing. But I love when the grandmother or his grandmother was really mad at her grandfather, I guess, and because they thought that he had betrayed them or didn't come back and do something, but he had got killed on his way coming back to his family, and she had spent her whole life like not wanting them to play music, and she was really mad at him. And then when they discovered, because the young man came, the young boy came along and started to fall in love with music. That was his ancestor calling him. And then when he went into the spirit world and understood what happened, and then came back, that's kind of like where we are. We'll be really mad at Africans. We feel like y'all did, but we don't even know. Like, hey, we were trying to come get you. We were looking for you. I ain't talking about the person that was bad. I'm talking about the person that you were connected to. And so how do we reconnect those bonds and be able to say, hey, when you come to our country, we should be here waiting for you. That's what other cultures are here doing. That's why they never going, the Latinos was going to take this country back because it was theirs first, let's be honest, but they're going to overpopulate the place and take it back without firing one shot.
Well, but on the Latinos, they have a lot of racism too. One day we're going to talk about this about the Afro-Latinos. For example, you was in Mexico, you see. Yeah, lot of people here, a lot of Latinos, they don't know they have black Latinos in Mexico. Yeah, we have black Mexicans. Yeah, in the Guerrero in Costa Chica because the slavery ship they stopped there. Right, younger was a great Guerrero. He was a younger. This name younger. That's a Kimbundo name on my mom's language name. Younger, they come from Kimbundu. Yeah, if you go through the step, that guy come from Angola. That was a slave guy come from Younger.
I know.
The guy, yeah, they have a statue there in Mexico.
Yeah, I see that. I'm in there.
Yeah, the
I got
statue
a
with the
picture in front
machete.
of it. Yes.
The way that guy fighting with the Spanish,
Yeah.
with the machete and they kill a lot
I know.
of Spanish guys, that guy they contribute a lot. But if you go see the government of Mexico, they don't like to talk about those warriors. Guys.
That's a
They
whole
don't
other
talk.
topic because then
Yeah.
it brings us to this
So,
topic of
yeah,
the mulatto.
one day,
And that's
yeah,
a whole
one
other
day.
because part of that is
Yeah.
choosing a side to uphold.
Yeah, on Peru, the same thing. You go on Peru,
All
you're gonna
over.
see El Salvador, you're gonna see they have the black.
That's also there's
Afro-
more black people in
Salvadorians.
Latin America and in
Yeah.
South America than there are in North
Yeah.
America, in particular in the United States.
United
Like,
States,
we're
exactly.
like a drop in the bucket compared to the rest of the Americas.
Yeah.
But somehow, because I think we were colonized probably by the most craziest white people, this is just my personal opinion.
Yeah.
But we weren't colonized by a particular country.
No.
You know how y'all say the Portuguese? Our white people are like, they were the bastards, they were the
Yeah.
criminals.
Yeah.
So when a person needed like a crew, the queen was like, you can take all these people from jail. You know what I'm saying? And so
Put him
that's
to
why
go
we
work.
that's why we're so off the chain
Yeah.
over here. So and looking at that, it's kind of like how do we then begin to make inroads to where we can connect back with each other. Like Black women are more aggressive because that's how we were able to eat. Like
Yeah.
if it wasn't for the Black woman, people be dead. That is
And-
gonna be
and
honest.
yeah,
It's
that's
not like she wants to be out there,
Mhm.
but
Yeah, because
you ain't got no
you
choice.
see that aggressiveness, like where is coming from? Yeah, we just need to learn
Because-
from each other
Yeah.
more. You know, to be open to learn.
I had a question here. I'm sorry, sis. I didn't see that. I'm sorry. Sister Nicole said, can you explain why African men are much nicer than African women in her experience?
That's a hard
How-
question, but you know, I think in general, men are more.
Nicer than women anyway.
Yes,
I
in
agree.
any
Well,
any culture, African. I mean, men tended to be
Nicer
or to
the-
pretend to be nice, yeah. Nicer than women.
That's true.
But that she's true. She's really true because yeah, the African. No, it's I think it's
No, that's his opinion.
no, but it's
That's
her
opinion.
opinion.
Yeah.
They have aggressive
Then
brothers.
it's her opinion. I agree with her opinion because I see the same. I see the same, you know. And in general, the African women, they also they have that power, that
They be thinking we're gonna take their man.
that's attitude.
Yeah. Like that. I respect marriage. I don't do stuff like that.
I see.
But I get it.
I
Some
see
women
it. I see
do.
it in Los Angeles. You know, we had a big meeting of Angolan lady, and I see like they don't get along with the African. It's like why your friends are Latinas and the white, but you don't have African Americans friends like women. You don't have why they don't get along.
That's his point of view, but
No,
If
no.
you-
But her point of view, it's true because I've noticed that
I've
too.
had
I've
that too.
noticed.
And I'm really pretty nice. I don't
no,
trip off.
you're talking like no, one
No,
day-
no,
Not
you-
all. No, I'm not
On
saying
the- on the
all.
marriage?
When I
On
say
the
this,
marriage?
no,
In
yeah,
general,
general,
like a
like I
general
can say
kinda, I get that.
95%, only 5 is like
Yeah.
No,
that's
no.
better. But even I think it's we really need to
But
to change that because even me when I was how can I say I was ignorant, so I tend not to date black. I know I was more in Latinas and white.
Mhm.
It's maybe because I want something different, or maybe I
Right.
want to get rid of that drama. But for me, it was kind of ignorance
Real
because
tough.
like you know. But now I really wanna an Afro-American. So I wanna date. I wanna get married with African because I think like if I get a white woman or a Latina, I think I'm gonna lose a lot of things. So I'm looking for an African American woman. I want to
for
have
the
a
kids, you're talking
not
about
for the
having
kids, like, you know,
yeah,
because
black.
I used to discriminate.
That's you're talking.
No, I used,
Their race is gonna be cutting out.
no,
Their
no,
black
no, no,
race.
no, I used to be ignorant.
We're gonna have
I
that
used
top
to be ignorant. I used to ignore some blacks. You know, I used to discriminate. You know, it's like you don't love yourself when you start to look for other white woman,
No,
because you see black as ugly. You see black as
Yeah,
ugly.
because that's that anti-blackness.
Yes, it's an
I get that.
anti-blackness. and that's true because most of black, it's not like they are run away because of drama. No, my opinion, they think like black are ugly that you know
No,
the
no,
color,
no, that's
the
not,
hair.
that's not that the true. Example, you see, you African, you see African sisters, they more submit on a husband than here. If you go see Afro American, it's not the discriminated Afro American
But
sisters.
we ain't. This is something we ain't
Yeah.
doing. No,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna.
Afro American sisters, they more aggressive with the husband than African sisters in Africa. They most African women,
Y'all chime
they
in.
more submit on a man.
You know, it's not
Yeah.
it's not about stuff. It's
Yeah.
it's about the time, because back on the day, the Afro American, they were also
And you don't
submissive,
see
but
that.
with the
You don't see that
development,
here in
with the education,
Afro-American
they
sisters.
start to be emancipated. They start to be independent. So that's make part of that. If you go in Angola now, the women are not like our mothers. They are also independent. They
But anyway,
they want an
anyway,
equal right. Of
anyway,
course,
but
they have that
also-
influence.
they have
Of course,
submission.
because they still have
They
that
have
influence over
submission.
their mothers. They see, the mothers
Yeah, they
are
have
submissive with their
submission.
fathers.
Yeah.
But you see, the next
Yeah, no.
next 5 years, next 10 years, you won't see that. You won't see that
Probably
because
next
those ladies,
generation, you know,
those ladies that they are born in those sisters
Probably, yeah,
now,
next
they
generation.
won't have that submission. They won't have
So
that
y'all know
submission.
y'all both could be right, though, right?
Mhm.
Y'all do understand that.
Yeah.
That you both could be right. Let me tell you
Yeah.
why I say that. Both of what you're saying are right.
Yeah.
There are some women who are not going to be, and it's funny I'm using this word, like I hate the word submission, but I
Yeah.
understand what it means. I think I've seen people abuse
Well,
the word
Bible say
submission,
that too.
but everybody ain't
Bible-
into the
Yeah,
Bible.
no, that's true.
Everybody
Because when
into
we
that.
say submission,
The
it means
woman
like
needs
she will
to be
be.
submission now. That's what Bible say too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but what if the person's not following that?
Yeah, we know. I know.
What submission mean?
Huh?
What submission mean?
That's the real question. You need to understand what the Bible tried to say about woman that
But you
needs
know,
to be
hold on.
submission
But here-
on his man.
But here's the
You
thing,
need to
though.
try. It's
The
not
Bible was
to men try
also
to treat you
the
like a
Bible was
slave.
also used to prolong us in slavery.
That's
Because slaves
that's a lot of
obey your
people-
master.
That's a lot of people think about.
No.
That's
But
not
that's what they use. That's what they use in slavery.
slavery.
Was they use that Bible for real to be like, you know,
Of
slaves
course,
obey your
when
master. I'm just saying.
the Portuguese went in Angola, they took the Bible, the Christianity
That's
to
mind
be
control for
submit
real.
to be submit to, so that
No,
they can
don't-
be submit. So,
Don't change
But
the
no,
subject.
don't bring
Don't change the subject.
Y'all both could be
no,
right, is what
yeah,
I'm saying.
don't bring the Bible. Don't bring the Bible
No,
or the term submission. No, we
But-
you know we
See, I was always taught that if you're doing the right thing, it would be easy to
It's
submit.
just example.
No. I'm just saying if your man was doing what he's supposed to be doing, you would do what is natural.
No.
But I feel like if you have to force somebody to do something, that means it don't work.
Yeah.
It's like trying to fit my size 12 into a size 8. It's just not gonna fit
Yeah.
because it's just too big. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I feel like sometimes some of us abuse the power.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be very
Yeah,
careful.
obviously.
Like people you tend to get more with honey than you do with vinegar because people like to feel good.
Yeah.
So if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, it's easy for me to do, and vice versa. If I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, it makes it easier for you to do what you're supposed to be doing. And I think sometimes as men and women, we get choked up in that.
Yeah, one point.
Okay, go ahead.
Because he missed. We were talking some. I was talking some different
They
things.
ask about the man.
No,
That's why
yes,
African
hold on,
guys in most
Hold on,
religion,
hold
they
on,
don't.
hold on. I was talking about why some men, avoid, to marry black, because some of them they think like black is ugly. They don't like it.
That's true.
And then you brought other topic about submission, which is true. But sister is also true because some men,
That's
some
your
men
point. That's your point of view.
that abuse,
They think about this. They're ugly. They're ugly because
No,
we're black. How come it? Other guys they're gonna
but
think it
some
because
people that's but
black
some-
and
but
sisters
some
they
people,
are
some people when they see white, some
That's
white,
true. It's
long
called-
hair,
That's anti-black.
anti-black.
I'm gonna give you a good example.
You try
I
to offend a lot of Afro-American brothers. They have
No, I'm
mulatto,
not talking
Latinos.
Yeah,
about
but
that.
they know what time it is.
Careful, yeah.
Most of their mamas look blacker than 1,000 midnights, and they did not pick
I'm
their
not talking
mama.
about those. I'm not talking about
Now,
those.
I mean, in terms of like the image.
And I'm not talking about also
So that's the
Afro American.
truth, too.
I'm talking about even Africans.
I get that.
I wasn't that bucket list that used to see black as ugly. Want something different. Want some white, some mulatto. I wasn't that bucket list. So I'm not talking about just
So
fantasy or invention.
No,
I'm talking like a personal thing.
That's your personal thinking. They happen when you was in Angola in Africa, or they happen here?
It happened here because in Angola I don't have
you
that
grow up.
option. In Angola I don't have that
You,
option
you,
for
you,
white.
you have
It's
Bro.
happening here because here you have option with the Latina and the white. You know, you start to see. No, let me have something different. You know, this is nice. Look, long hair. You know, the skin. You know, it's. I have a friend of that. That's anti-black.
Yeah,
That's ignorance. That's ignorance.
That's so true.
That's
Okay, you
ignorance.
told me
But
all
hold on,
brothers,
hold on.
they marry
Not all,
white
not
girl,
all.
all
I'm telling you,
Latina,
I'm
they
just saying
they
not
don't like
all.
it. They don't like his color.
No,
They
not
don't like
all.
his
I can
race.
say 50% they're still ignorant.
Some of them don't. Now let's just be honest. Some of them don't. George Lopez, who was Latino, famous comedian, talked about the worst thing that you could do in a Latino family, but he's Mexican, is to bring home a black person. Now look, as a date. So here's my thing. We know that that's all real because if that wasn't
But the
real,
Latina girls, they like black.
so everybody likes black. Everybody likes chocolate.
You know why?
I mean, no.
You know why? And the
Why?
Latino
Why?
boys,
Why?
the
Chocolate
Latino-
is sweeter. Why?
the Latino boys, they hate black brothers. I have Latino friends at work on my type of work.
Latino men?
Yeah, Latino guys,
Why?
they hate black
Why
guys.
though?
You know why? Because
I don't know
black
why.
guys, they take his Latino girls.
But wait, so hold on.
They hate.
No, I'm
But
not
the
disagreeing.
girls, Latina girls,
Look,
they like
I'm
black
not
guys.
disagreeing, but
No,
I
no,
want
no,
you to.
we're not-
Here's the thing: you're saying y'all kind of both saying the same thing, but y'all coming from different angles. And let me tell you what I say that. When you're a man, this is what I learned about men. Men always see other men almost as like kings. You know,
Yeah,
if you're trying to build your castle, you can't do that with another king. You need a king. You get all the queens and whatever you want.
Yeah.
So every woman tends to like a man, even if the man is not as attractive. If he treats you nice, you be like, he kind of attractive. Because now you're attracted to the aura of whatever of the person. So talking about women or females, whatever, that's very different when you're talking about men and men. Like, if Latino men don't too much care
They
for
don't
black men, that's because they
don't
feel
like-
like they may be replaced.
They don't
Because
like-
men
they
see
don't
each
like-
other sometimes in
they
that
don't
way.
like, yeah.
But what
He can be your
was
friend,
talking
but they don't like.
yeah, they don't want you to come over their door, nothing like that. But what I'm saying is that, when you're talking about the anti-blackness, that is real. Let me tell you how it's real where you're from as opposed to where I'm from as well.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. When you look at any standard of beauty, it is not YouTube. It is no. Understand? If the person is like a mix, like for instance, love Nipsey Hussle, love him. He's a great dude.
Yeah.
But Nipsey Hussle, I mean, he's deceased now, blessed in memory. I don't know if he gets a lot of play because of the way he looked. Because we have other black people who died, like Nipsey Hussle, trying to do stuff, but they didn't get as much play.
Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying? We have cultures inside of America that believe that a man had to come looking like a mixed person or close to white for black people to follow that person. So you mean to tell me you can only be close to God if you're mixed? These are actual doctrinations inside of spiritual tradition.
Yeah.
Even when you look at the spiritual realm, or not say spiritual, the religious thing of let's say Candomblé would be in Brazil, or Santeria. So when you look at Santeria and they show you Oshun is always a mulatto. How is that possible when she's from the place where everybody is black?
Yeah.
So those are all anti-blackness.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
That's
It's
what I'm
gotten
asking.
so bad.
That's what I'm asking all the time too. What color Jesus is? Jesus was Negro.
He was
He
black.
was Negro. He's Negro.
Yeah.
He's black. If you go see on the North Africa, that's you see. Example, if you go to those North Africa, like in Libya, like Egyptians, they black. They're black
too. Yeah.
But all of them, they say we're not black.
Because
How
that's a
come?
way
You
for
see?
them to have white
Jesus
supremacy
come from
reign.
that side.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I think anti-blackness is one of the most effective tools that they have today.
That was my point. That's
I
why
get
I
you.
wasn't ignorant. I was
Yeah, you're gonna
ignorant.
say.
I was ignorant
You're gonna
to
say.
see, to see the white is more beautiful, Latina is more beautiful. It's because you don't love yourself. If you don't love yourself, you won't love your sister. You will see that hair, that color, that nose. It's ugly.
You're gonna tell me all those brothers.
I just told you he's not old. He's not
That's what I'm
old.
saying. That's
It's
your
the-
only point
Yeah,
of view.
it's not old. It's the half of the
Okay.
majority that is
The majority
saying,
here, famous guys here. I'm calling NBA guys.
But that's my
Most of
point.
them,
Hold on.
they
But
buy-
he's backing up your point.
They
Yeah,
they marry Latina. They marry Latina. No, but you're gonna tell those guys they hate
But
black
hold
girls.
on. But they hold on. But
won't
they
say
do, you
hate.
know
I
why?
won't say
No.
hate.
But
They
they
don't
do, you know
like
why? Because they take their resources and they take it to another
another
community.
community.
So that is a form of self-hatred. When you look at all the NBA players, all the
They're
basketball players, all of the
Latinos.
rappers,
Yeah.
they're all damn near
He's white
anti-black.
American.
And then they wonder why when they get shot by the police or something, then you know who comes to their rescue?
Yeah.
Not that Latina,
Yeah.
not that white girl. You know, the big nosed, dark skinned black woman be out there with the signs,
Yeah.
and even though he wouldn't given her the time of day.
He's-
So that's your
He's-
basically
no,
in
he's
your
coming to my
example.
point. He's coming to my point
You know.
because why? Because why? And you see, when
No, I'm just
when-
asking. Those
yeah,
guys, they
It's-
They
I-
anti-black?
I don't say
They
I don't
anti-black?
say hate, but they're anti or they don't
They're
like.
anti-black,
They are,
those guys.
they are ignorant.
Yeah.
They're ignorant. They don't like this because they still in the fantasy. The white is beautiful. The Latin is beautiful.
Let me ask you
Yeah,
this: why you don't
exactly.
see a lot of white men in droves marrying
Black.
black women? I mean, or just anybody black, African, or whatever. Why you don't
most
see,
of them rich, they that way.
They
Michael Jordan, they both is true. Broken ex-wife,
Hold
they
on.
Latinas too.
no. Michael
Mulattoes.
Jordan's ex-wife
It was mulatto. It's
yeah,
Latina.
but she considers
It's
herself
Latina.
black. She
But
is
he
the
say
first
it's
one,
Latina.
even though she looks like mom.
The
And
second one is
the
white.
second
White.
white girl. So my point is, hold on. But do you see what Michael Jordan looked like? Why didn't he marry anyone who looks exactly like him?
I don't know. That's
No,
that's
you do
my
know.
question,
Yeah,
too.
because
I
he
have
has
no
a
idea.
type.
Yeah,
Well, all
too.
I'm saying to you is, just to get off the black men,
Mhm.
why don't white men do that?
But those days you see a lot of white guy dudes they try to marry.
No,
Poor
not
guys,
to the
you know,
poor
not to
guys,
the
no,
extent.
guys
not
with
the
the money
not the
too.
celebrity.
No.
You see celebrities
On
like
celebrity,
rich, wealthy.
we have,
It's
we have.
rare. You only see
We have.
3, 4.
Right,
But
that's
the
my
black,
point.
you see like
We
you know,
We get
80%.
money and we equate that with wealth.
Yeah.
We equate white with good things. We equate
Mhm.
white with being smart. We equate white with being better.
Better.
And that's all over, not just in
Beautiful.
America, all
All
over
over
the
the
continent
world.
of Africa,
Yeah.
everywhere.
Everywhere.
Wherever there or where there are people of melanin of color, white people come and they set up the system and then we fall for that.
It's lack of education.
The best
No,
example I
that's-
can give is when John, I can't remember his name, when he came to Pocahontas. And it was, and in the movie, it's a real story.
Mhm.
Basically, with Pocahontas and the native, they saved his life. Pocahontas' father said, "There's going to be a time where you have to choose between John
Mhm.
or your people, and I hope you would choose your people." So, of course, she didn't do that. She chose
We
John.
didn't.
But when John had to choose between her or England, you know what he chose?
What?
He chose England. And to me, that's very. It's not like he has self-hate. Like I love myself so. This is all good. I'm loving all of this.
Bobby
But
Marley,
England-
the only wife they have black it was Rita Marley. The rest it was mulatto.
But so you
Bobby
prove
and
my
Mama
point.
is
You
he
prove
was
my
white.
point. He was
What
allowed
you
himself,
tell me Bobby Marley was racist.
Yeah, of course he is. How could you
Oh,
not
wow.
see that?
Yeah, well,
No, you
No,
My
and he was
point of
a
view,
model
yeah.
himself. He was a model
No.
himself.
yeah, it was
So
mulatto.
maybe
but
he
it's
was
black.
maybe he was choosing himself.
His
Yeah,
mom,
yeah,
his mom
he
is
was
black. They pass more entire young age with his mom.
Yeah, you just
never
proving
see
our
his
point.
father.
You just
No, I don't prove.
Yeah, you are proving our
No, when
point.
you say all the
Yeah,
brothers
yeah.
they are anti-black,
Yeah,
I'm
I didn't-
asking
I didn't
you.
say all.
Bobby Marley
I-
wasn't
yes,
black
yes,
because
yes,
they
he
get
was.
those white
Yes,
In
he
girls.
was.
action, because you
was.
can say good things, but you know, you have to practice
Yeah.
what you preach. If you preach and in reality,
Okay,
you know, you don't like that
I
lifestyle.
understand.
I want
And
to
I think it's
I
okay.
respect-
It's not
I
a bad
respect-
thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
I respect your point of view, but I don't accept that.
yeah, you
Yeah,
know.
and then one day we're gonna have we need to
No,
have it
you know, I
one
want
of
to have a
these
round table. I
about
feel
this.
like,
About
yeah,
yeah,
I
about
think that's
Yeah.
a
We
real
need to
question.
put
And I
that
only
on
said that
agenda.
because
Mhm.
that's one of the topics I talk about all the
Yeah.
time. The example, that
a lot
picture,
of
right?
mulattoes there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? But they don't consider themselves
They-
mulattoes.
they-
You see
yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So hold on.
Halle
That
Berry.
picture right there where it
they
says
like
arise.
skin.
Good example. We said pictures arise every
Yeah.
time I take it to class. I work with a lot of girls.
Uh-huh.
You know which one they said was the most prettiest on that picture? The one right there with Naomi Campbell, Alec, and I
The-
forgot
the
the
hair-
which
the
one they
hair
thought was
there.
the prettiest. Which girl? Be honest with you. Which one you thought they said
Wow,
that was the
They
prettiest?
left one.
Which one?
They left.
Which one?
Oh, over here in the
Uh-huh.
bottom? Yes.
Yeah, that's
Why?
what they say.
Why?
Yeah,
Yes.
because
She was closer to European features.
Yes.
And then the one who was the
on
darkest.
on the Naomi, you don't see nothing.
No, she's nice. I'm gonna say, well, the nicest.
Oh.
If you put like 100 people,
Right,
most people,
especially with
they wanna
influence.
choose that
the
one.
one I'm only saying to say, and then the one,
and
come
the
on.
dark,
They didn't
one,
think she was
no.
pretty. They did not
They
think she
think
was pretty. She didn't
Because
have
they
long
come
hair.
from a real,
But here's, yeah,
real North
but she's more,
Africa.
yeah. But here's the real thing. The one in the middle is Jamaican.
Yeah.
So that's really British. You know, her mother's from Jamaica,
Mhm.
Naomi Campbell. But what I'm saying is the sad part about that whole piece is, do you know who Jock's the one who gets the most play in terms of in white America?
Yeah.
You know who discovered her, Alec? A white man. A white man put it on. We look at like people, you know, even with Lupita. We only got her, no, really, because white people like authenticity. We jumped on the bandwagon, a lot of us, because she was not the picture, right? She wasn't the picture what you would find to
White
be
people, they have
beautiful.
a vision, so that exploration, that trade is, they still have that. That's why they like.
Okay.
But I
And
get what
that's
you're
what I'm
saying.
saying. Those white
And
guys,
we
they
as-
marry black sister like in Lupita Leon. His boyfriend is not black guy.
Ooh,
Lupita
I
Leon.
heard she was lesbian, but I don't know.
No, they have a boyfriend. His boyfriend is Latino. Lupita Leon, they grow up
She
in
is
Mexico.
Mexican.
Yeah,
Mexican.
it's Kenyan Mexican.
But she's from
Yeah,
Kenya.
she grew-
so
yeah,
I like
they
that.
grow up.
She's that standard, when they
His
Hold on.
boyfriend
Well, how you
is
know?
black.
How you know no
He's-
brother
he's
wasn't
Mexican.
checking for her? Though? How you know no brother wasn't checking for the people?
A lot of
'Cause
brothers,
maybe
they
she was
try.
too
Lot of
too
brothers try.
dominant for her. Maybe she was too not submissive enough, brother.
Lot of guys. Okay,
I like the best.
you guys gonna judge me.
No, we're not. We're not.
Example,
I'm
the
messing with you.
Kardashians. All the Kardashians, they go on the black guys. You're gonna see
Hold
why
on,
they go
hold
on the black guys.
Here's my
All
thing.
the Kardashians.
I just told you everybody
Yeah.
likes chocolate. I'm not saying that the brothers like that's gonna be funny. Women
All
like
them, the mama, the mother, the
problem is
sisters.
not the weed.
Yeah.
The problem
Yeah.
is the men,
Right.
especially the Afro-American men. When
there's no loyalty.
they're in a high position,
We all because we hold them like that.
celebrity, the men normally they tend to go for mulata, for white.
Because we
It's
think that
rare
has
to
something to do
see
with
them to
clout.
go to the black. They think like a black is ugly.
And I know
the
that's
reality.
hard. And I get what
It's a
you're
hard
saying.
reality.
I don't think all of them are self-hatred. Let me just say
Yeah,
that. I think
yeah.
maybe I don't really believe in this, but sometimes we say you can't help who you fall in love with. But what I know about when you're building a dynasty and you're building
have a
some
lot.
kind of legacy,
A lot
It
of
does-
beautiful black sisters.
no, I know you know, but
Who's
what I'm,
there? Yeah,
but
don't,
but what I'm
don't
saying,
think you were here
but what I'm,
criticize
but
them.
but what I'm saying is, at some point, we have to have that conversation because there's some people who will be bold enough, and I have not heard this ever from any African man from the continent. I'm not gonna lie, I have heard this from African American men where they say stuff like, "I don't date dark-skinned girls. I want my kids to look mixed." Black folks talk like that when we're
Like
with
that.
each other.
That's
We
the-
do, and that's
That
offensive.
mentality,
I would.
yeah.
I'll give you an example. Where the way I grew up is, if you were a black boy and you didn't like black girls, it was okay for you to say, "I'm gonna be with somebody mixed. I'm gonna be with a man, give me a white boy, whatever." But if this is why I don't like black women, you would say why they wouldn't. But if I was a black girl and I said I can't stand black men, another black woman would check me. Like, you don't get to say that about our black men because they've been through a whole lot, and you don't get to I don't get to have that as an opinion, but he gets to have it as an opinion. That's that double standard. Even though I would never say that because my father's a black man, I have
Yeah,
brothers,
my
that are
mama
black, I have
black.
nieces and
I
nephews.
don't have any
nephews that are
mix
black
on
men.
my part.
Right.
There's that double
But there's this
Yeah.
thing where it's kind of like, and even if I felt that way, I just wouldn't say it to your face because you know what? As much as I may not like who I think you are as black men, because now I'm judging you off other men,
Yeah.
I would never say that to your face because I wouldn't want to hurt you. Even if that was my truth, I just would never say that. I would be like, you know what I mean?
Okay.
But black men be like, I don't really date black girls because they kind of ghetto. And then you see their mama and be like, but your mama's like look like a full black person, like
Your
she ain't
dad
cut
is
with
full
nothing.
black.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's this thing of like, my thing is you can date whoever you want, but what you don't get to do is disrespect the life that brought you onto the
Yeah,
planet.
they respect it.
Because
Yeah,
black
respect
women, we fight hard for people who don't always fight hard for us.
Yeah.
And that's a hard thing to have to live with. Like, you know, that's just how we roll.
But this on the future they're gonna have a consequence, you know. Like I'm saying, for more on the future generation they come, if the world still exists
Well,
there,
it's gonna be the sun.
in 4 more years or 40 more years or 50 more years, yeah, they're gonna disappear. The darker skin, they're gonna start disappearing because you see all those famous brothers. Yeah, they mix. They mix.
Like the royals,
They
I don't think
mix
they're
those
royals. I
days,
think
yeah.
they need to pay everybody their money back. So I've never seen
In
them as
Africa,
royal
the
people.
same thing.
But
Go see
I
that.
feel like it's okay to let those people disappear because I don't know if
Yeah.
I would want them to be a part of what I'm trying to build. No, if some dark-skinned person didn't like a black person, they married a white woman or whoever, then they married another white. I want them to disappear
Yeah.
over there. I do because I don't want them to bring that back over into the world
Yeah.
I'm trying to create where people actually love their black skin or love their Africanness. Like, I don't want people to bring that anti stuff over here. Like, take that. You ain't gonna go to a Klan rally and be like, "We proud to be black." You're not gonna do that at the Klan rally.
Yeah.
They would be lynching you
They're
and
gonna say, oh, I'm light skinned. I don't be here.
And there is third point. That's true because when a man
Yeah.
marries
Yeah.
a wife, very much that he's losing because the women they have that strong, it's natural. So when the child is born, they will be more in mother's side, then
Of course, they be
then
mulatto.
then the
They're gonna be
father's
mulatto.
side.
But still,
Pretty much they will
Well, what
lose.
is that though? What is a mulatto? That sounds like a horse or something. Like a
Yeah,
like
that's
No,
the
mulatto
worst.
totally.
The
Mulatto-
worst.
mulatto is
The
like
worst of
skin,
PA.
like skin is the
Yeah.
the
Are they
result.
still
Different
are they
hair,
still
no-
African?
No more type of hair.
No,
They can
mulatto-
be.
It's
They
dominant
can be
hair.
No,
African,
mulatto
but
is like it's just a color. It's just
Yeah.
it's the
They mix.
result of white and
yeah,
black.
and black.
Is it
Yeah.
light
Are there
skin?
some light people who are not mixed with white?
Yeah. That's what
No.
mulatto. You're gonna. Well, mulatto, you're gonna see
No,
like,
I'm not saying mulatto.
like
I'm
in
not saying
Indians,
mulatto.
You see the
No, but that's what I'm not talking
There
about
are
mulatto.
some
In South
light
Africa,
skin,
they have people who are lighter, not the
Not-
mixed people, not
not
them.
the mix.
But there's some indigenous people who are African who are just lighter
Yes,
skin
Yes.
and complexion, but they're not white. They're not
Yeah,
mulatto.
they're not mulatto. It's just light skin. Yeah.
The Ethiopians,
But
the
the-
Eritrean people.
But they mix with
Ethiopians.
Italian. They mix
But
with
that's
Italian.
why they have that type of mentality. They still say we're not black. That's it.
But do we want
Ethiopian
them?
people
No, but
say.
do we want them? No. I like it when people say they ain't rolling with me, so I don't have to
No,
roll
that's
with you.
offending because they're African. Why, if they consider it,
I don't
they know black.
I agree.
Why they say I'm
Yeah.
African?
Yeah.
The same thing you go to Egypt. Sisters there, they don't
No,
accept they're black.
but you have to understand that not all
All the
Africans are
white.
black.
That's
They
why
are white.
Say that
They are-
again. You said not
No,
all
no
Africans are black.
black.
I agree with
Yeah,
that.
they-
we have mulattoes in Angola too. Because
No,
that's
no.
Portuguese
It's something different. No,
Yeah.
don't mix up.
people.
Don't mix.
What
That-
you
that-
gonna
that-
tell me?
that-
They
that-
white?
That's the
They
son of
mix
that.
black and the Western.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the result of white and black. But people
Okay.
from Morocco,
They're
Egypt, no,
They're
there's
black.
some white.
You
There's
tell
some
me,
white.
you tell
No,
me
no, there's
white,
some
the white.
There's some
You
white.
tell me, this guy here in America is famous. G. Collar, French Montana. Those guys, they're African.
Don't mix up.
They're
People
black.
from Morocco.
Who-
There are some
who
people
black?
from Morocco.
Huh? Those guys,
Chris Montana is not black.
they're black. He's African. He's from Morocco.
No,
You gonna
he's
tell
not-
me he's
he's
what?
not-
He's
no.
white?
No, he's
The
not
white
white.
people don't
He's
accept
not
him.
white, but he not
He's
black
not
either.
black.
That's the
No,
big
don't
problem. That's the big problem. Most black people put it.
Don't
No,
mix.
no.
Don't mix. There are
I
people,
don't
people
mix.
from Nigeria.
They're black.
There are people from Nigeria. There are some people
They're
from,
black.
from Egypt. People from Morocco. There are some white.
They're black.
No, there are some white. They even though they're in an African
They
continent.
go to the white people. White people
No,
wanna say
no,
to
no.
him, "He's not. You're not white."
Regardless, but they are
But
not black.
I'm gonna put something on you then.
That's
So
what
we
I'm
gonna
saying.
so we gonna
White
say
people
that
they
right?
don't accept
Hold
them.
on.
Regardless,
Obama is what? Obama, you're gonna say is what?
Obama is black.
Why Obama is black? If French Montana is not black.
But he not. That's all.
He's not.
Abraham Lincoln, here in America, I don't accept him. He was the first black president, but
No,
people
no.
on history,
No,
people
not-
say
not,
they were
not,
first black
not Abraham
president.
Lincoln.
No,
Not Abraham Lincoln. No,
People say he says
No.
People say, he has to say he was black. What?
he was not
But it's
black.
not.
If,
White
he, was- if
people,
he
they-
was black, he wouldn't have made it to where he was. So we
You
know he
see?
wasn't black.
you tell me?
However, so here's the thing.
You
So
see?
the other part to this is if we gonna make mixed people black, right? Let me say I'm rolling with your theory.
Yeah.
That means white people are also
Mhm.
black. Because white people came out of black people.
What kind of box? What kind of box? What kind of box you gonna put in those those
No.
people of color?
They-
Because the
no.
white people they don't accept that people is not white. They say you're not white.
Who not white?
No, people like those simple names I say here.
But what I'm saying to you is, brother, is that so here's the thing. It depends on how you think. So what I know about white people have done a good job. And I'm talking about the white people that have no power. I'm talking about the white people in power.
Yeah.
They did a really good job of sticking to when they claim that somebody's white. See, whiteness is a distinction. They have made it into a distinction
Mhm.
because they have to agree to the extinction. Like to be white means you have to have. We talk about blonde hair, blue eyes, like all of those very recessive genes.
Mhm.
That's the genes that they hold into power. That's why the dude in Hitler basically was very distinctive, even though he didn't look like the product he was
Mhm.
trying to push.
Yeah.
He really believed in the product. And I'm not saying this, so Kevin's an example.
Yeah.
So, for instance, white people have a way of saying, this is what makes white. Hold on.
Yeah.
This is what makes white. Black people, we on the other end, we don't want to do that. We'll make everybody black and then wonder why we can't get no goddamn way. Because we keep trying to be all things to all people. We have no distinction to what it means to be black or what it means to be African. And just because somebody comes into your house and rapes your people, you know, they say, elders used to say, a cat can have kittens in the oven, but it don't make them muffins.
Yeah.
It makes them kittens in the oven. So white people are like guests on the whole planet.
Oh yeah, all the
Right?
Bahamas
So
and
my
that
thing,
type,
right?
yeah.
So they're guests.
They've
So
been
I'm only
abused.
saying that to say that, hey, mixed people, I don't really care about their identity, because to me, the only identity that matters to me is what's happening with black people. Because that whole thing about not belonging, that's their illusion. See, white people get to just be white. They're Italians, they're French, they're German, they're Irish, they're Scandinavian.
Yeah.
They just say, we white.
They've-
And there's something in the collective that they want, that they bond around the whiteness. You get the black people got us all confused. I'm mulatto, I'm colored, I'm Negro, I'm black, I'm a nigga. We come up with all these things. We're just African.
Yeah.
Excuse me, in the diaspora. That's all we are. I mean, really, but if we put value on that, the other people who we think are mulatto, they will make a clear choice to who they want.
One white lady one day they asked me here this in America. We talk about it, the people from that side of Africa. I say, oh, that's white African. They say, why you call it white African? They
No
say
such
because
thing.
those country people there, they don't accept. They say they know black. I say, well, how come? Egyptian people, Moroccans and Libyans, they say they know black. They ain't born in Africa. It's not in Africa. But I say, yeah. And if they have more darkened people like Ethiopian, Eritrea, they say they don't accept. They say they know black too. The lady say, oh,
But
yeah,
this-
why this happened? I say, I have no idea.
There's an anti-blackness
I
is
want
why it
to
happens.
explain
But I'll
myself
say
on that
this
too.
though. If you allow
Yeah.
people to do whatever they want to do, like say the Ethiopian, the Dominicans say the same thing. No,
Yeah,
me no black. With the one comedian Godfrey, me no black, me no black, me no black. But what I'm saying is, great, don't be black, but don't be
Yeah.
calling on us when you need something, because you know you are black. So my thing is, I don't claim people who don't claim me. So Abraham Lincoln wasn't a black man to me. He didn't claim it here. Tiger Woods,
Yeah.
I'll say he ain't black. It'll be the white
He's
people.
Asian.
It'll be the white people
Yeah.
who telling me black. You
Right.
gotta do it for me.
Uh-huh.
They're the ones who want to bring greens and fried
I
chicken
don't
and watermelon to
consider
the
him
Master's
too, yeah.
dinner. But my thing of it is that if we spend so much time trying to make people be something that they're not, be grateful,
Yeah.
right they butts
We're
off
saying
and be
it
like,
here for
let's
them. Why?
right. Because they know that they're black, especially when they come amongst the Europeans, because the Europeans have a way of letting you know you are so different from me. And I'm gonna let you know that. By the way I talk to you, what I push on you, I'm gonna let you know that you are not black. I mean, you're not white. You're definitely black or of color. Even that's a trick of color. How can you be of color when you created all the other people on the planet?
Yeah.
How is that possible? You are the color. You are the color. There is no You're not of anything. You are the color that make all the other colors. So for me, it's kind of like that's been his trick bag that he's been so good at running on our people. And we kind of buy into it. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, what are y'all hoping to accomplish in the U.S.? And you talked about
That's the most difficult question.
really.
Yes, to accomplish, because sometimes I think what I'm trying to accomplish is still far away, you know, because sometimes I think, oh, will I go back to Angola or what? Or will I stay here? So we trying to figure it out, because sometimes you came here just to go to school and to go back, but you end up staying here and you're still in doubt.
You can't do both. You can't
You-
stay here and then
yeah,
support
go.
your people back home, because that's what other cultures do when they here.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
That's
pretty
what
much
people
that's the goal, is to, you know, to get the money here and then to invest in Angola, because it's easier, you know, to invest in Angola than here. you know.
2 times I know I have to 2 times one Afro-American brother, they tell me that what they make you to come to America, man? This country is shit. I want to get out of here. Sorry for the people using that
No, I
word
get
here.
it.
Yeah. This country, man, I want to get out of here. Why you come to this fucking country, man? I say, whoa, you American, man. With the opportunity you have here on this beautiful place, beautiful country. I don't hate it because of the politicians. They
I
make
get
it the country, make it, but this is beautiful country. I say, I love this country. Since I was a kid, I watch America on the movies, or see all the people style of life. Well, when I came from Africa, I was surprised because when I was there in Africa, my mentality, I think my life is gonna be fine. My life is gonna be when I came and like those Hollywood people here,
Right.
and I'm gonna get dollars on the tree, like money on the tree. Like, no, I need to work hard in America to get my dollars, to get my money. I need to work hard. And the brother told me, yeah, a lot of things, man, I hate it, my country because of that, because that's it, man. But here you have opportunity I don't have in Africa. What kind of stuff? I said, man, a lot of things. Lot of things.
Yeah, education, especially education.
I said,
You know, you can be a poor here, but you live it's the social life. It's better here. You can have a regular, you know, salary. You know, they say like a base salary, but you still have a good way of life, like the education, the health, you know, the environment. You have in a general, we have a better way of living than any country in Africa. You can be rich, but you rich, okay, in your home. But once you go outside, going to work, you know, you'll see that the poverty, you see that injustice. You can get stressed. You know, you can be good for yourself, but in general, people are well. So that is not good. That's the way I once I told my mother, you know, I'd rather be poor here in the United States than be rich in Angola. She was like, really? Don't say that. I said, yeah,
I prefer. I'm young, happy young man.
That's true.
I'm born in 1983. To see the things the government is doing to next generation, they go, how did and myself when I was 17, I said, how next generation gonna be? I'm gonna get out of that fucking country. It's a rich country. Everybody, all the countries they there. You go to my country, you see American BP oil, they there explore. But the country is rich, but it's same time it's poor. I said, how come this happened? This rich country, and the white people, the Westerns only come here, take the resources, and they take it to Europe, take it to Americans, and nothing left here. How this come? How this happen? And because all the governments in Africa, they're corrupt. I say, I don't accept that. I'm a revolutionary. I don't accept to be in my country like that. I'm going to somewhere. Come to America.
So here's what I did hear from the two of you all
Yeah.
talking right now.
Yeah.
So I can see y'all coming here and feel like, wow, this is a great. In America, I'll say this, that I travel a lot.
Yeah.
I always say I would not want to be where I am any other where in the world but here. I'm just gonna be honest, because here,
That's
like,
true.
I don't have children, I'm not married, but I still live
Whatever.
very well. I'm not judged for that. I've been in parts of the world. If you don't have no children, you haven't
You
contributed.
enjoy your life.
No, but you haven't contributed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I feel like, and in saying that, I can understand how sometimes people feel that America ain't shit, but they have nothing to judge that up against because they haven't lived anywhere else. That's number one. So I was like, yeah, I want you to go get a passport and go Latin America, go to Africa, go to some places first, and go with the people. Don't go to the hotel.
Mhm.
Go to where the people live. Go to where, you know. That's one. The second thing I would say, coming from the American side, I feel like you could get further because you have some things that you can identify that is your culture. Like, even though you have Portuguese names, you still know your family's history and not leading back into slavery. Like, I know we all come from somewhere in Africa. I get that. But for the most of us, we have to look at what happened in slavery, which is why we can't, that's why we we don't identify and we don't sometimes feel connected to you because of that period of slavery.
Yeah,
You understand what I'm saying?
Destroy that
White
connection.
Right.
Yeah, I do
So-
understand.
So
Yeah.
sometimes I feel like when we see you, one moment we're excited, but the other one was like, yeah, but you got something I ain't got. Like, you got culture.
Mhm.
You know your ancestors.
Yeah.
You don't have to be
This
looking
happened.
at some.
This
My last name is Johnson. You know what I mean? Because that's a major slave names are Williams, Johnson, Brown. You know, Joneses. Yeah, Washingtons. Like, you know, those are major slave names.
Yeah.
So,
Slave master.
you know, I think sometimes we haven't sat down to figure out, like, okay, I have a lot of friends who did marry Black men, like from Africa, from Latin America, whatever. And one of the main reasons why they married them is because the men knew culture. And they were lacking. They wanted that. They wanted their kids to have the other side of the other side of their history. Because it's like, I want to be with someone who can add on to the history and it don't come through slavery. Because that's the part I got.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
On that topic, I was example most of the time because my type of job, I work in this construction area. I'm flooring. Yeah, I'm contractor. I have my flooring business.
Okay.
Yeah, I install flooring. And most of the time I work with the Latinos on that area. And sometimes when I speak with, go to somebody, some client's house to install the flooring, and then they American, whatever, Afro-American or white family, then when I speak, see me speak Spanish with the Latinos, and they, oh, how come you speak Spanish? I said, that's your language? Are you Spanish? I said, no, I'm from West Africa. Oh, how come? In Africa, they speak Spanish. I said, well, they have one country, but my language is different. I speak in Portuguese. I said, how come you speak in Portuguese? You speak in Spanish? And what other language do you speak? I say, you speak French too. How
Those are all the
come?
romantic
And
languages,
I feel bad because the people they born here they spend to me, oh damn, I'm just speaking English because I'm born in America. I say no, it's not. That's not the problem. That's not the problem. And I feel bad, for somebody not telling me, yeah, he's just speaking English because they're born in America. I say that's not the point. That's not
But
the
I
point.
think it would be so enriching. Like I just felt like once you know other languages, because what other cultures do have, they could be sitting right in front of us. So when I took the sister to go meet this Nigerian brother to do some negotiations on some stuff, so they were African women. 'Cause I'm cool. I have a lot of African women friends I'm cool with, but they're a little bit more Americanized, probably than like traditional African woman, to be honest with you. So they were negotiating the prices, so she had to talk to a partner, a homegirl, to work it out. And what they did, they started speaking in a whole other language. So the Nigerian brother was talking about. I was sitting there like, because I wish I could. You know what I mean? Because they were like, "How we gonna do it?" They didn't get like a wonderful deal because she's really good at bartering. I'm not good at that. But the point of it is, that's what's missing. When you see someone that can speak another language, and you can like, no, you don't have to be a part of it. That's why African Americans do slang. That's why we do all of this, and we do all of these things with sounds. You know, because we know about the sound, but it means we do stuff with our eyes all the time, and and the clicking and all that kind of stuff.
Too,
That's all language. But it just would be nice to be able to say something and like, because even when I say like little stuff, like say if I don't know, when I was traveling in Costa Rica and I would catch a taxi, I would get the taxi and say in Spanish, this is where I'm going. And I would ask how much it was. And the guy would tell me, and then I would get my money together. And he started talking, I'm like, no habla español, muy estudiante, un poquito. He's like, you American? And I'd be like, yeah, but you can't change your price because you already told me. He's like, oh, that's so funny. No, I'm serious as hell. I'm trying to tell you. But the thing of it is, there's something really empowering when you know a little something, because even your treatment becomes a little better, and you be more susceptible to learning other languages. So it makes sense that you speak Portuguese, that you would understand Spanish. When I was in Brazil, I was speaking a little bit of Spanish. I mean, the man was, I spoke. I don't know. He said no. Stick to the Spanish because you're don't. But first of all, don't speak no English because I'm not understanding what you're saying for real. But just work in the Spanish because you know those three things are really connected. They're like they're very small, similar. You know, American English. If say American, it is like a bastard's language. So you know, we butcher everybody's stuff. Even the people in England don't talk the way we talk over here.
Talk. When an example of this happened to me when I came. Right now, my English. I don't speak fluently, you know.
You're doing real good.
Yeah, but my English, when I came, because my English, the basic skills on English what I learned in Angola was from UK, is English.
Yeah.
From England. When I came here, when I say water, sometimes people, they don't understand. What are you trying to say? I said, no, what is the bathroom? What is the toilet? People like, oh, what are you trying to say? I said, I'm speaking English. They said, no, you pronounce, man. Is and then year by year, I start to change, and then I start to get a little bit on America's accent and American.
People corrupted by us, we'll corrupt some people though, because I have a lot of girls in my classes that are from African first generation, and I watch them struggle to like fit in with Black culture. But it's like, girl, don't do all that. Like, we have to look. Just keep talking what you're talking. Don't be trying to. Don't mess up what you got going on. But I think it's this need to want to fit in. You know what I mean? And so you start to lose. Like one of the girls in my class is from Kenya. She came here when she was 1 or whatever. And I was she was born here, but I think she only went to Kenya once when she was 1. She didn't remember that. So now her grandparents are here for her graduation or whatever. And she was just, I said, Mom, I said, what do you mean you don't speak? Are you crazy? Like I'm always on, like, I didn't know you was from Kenya, because she just blended right in. And it's like, no, you're from a culture. You know, you're not like a person that like I make some part. No, you really come from a tradition and culture. You know the language, you know the food. So she knew the food because her mom did all that. But she said her parents wanted her to be able to fit in, so they did not teach her the language. I said that was a mistake. You need that. That's identity. America, you become more successful if you hold on to your identity. Did you know that? That's how you measure success for real. That's how you're able to build. That's why there's Chinatowns and Korean towns and Latin. That's all of their culture sustaining them.
That's what I was telling you. Like we don't have that, you know, in Angola. Even in Angola,
people are losing identity because they want to look as a Western. Angola is one of the countries in Africa, that I'm not saying that the other parts in the interior you can find like that root, that culture. But if you go in the capital, you see like people are losing their identity, the cultural identity. The way you go in Angola to the people, the way they dress, you like they're United States, their house, their cars. They trying to imitate, the American, the European lifestyle. They losing their cultural identity, which is one that identify the real.
Tell me about your currency. What's your currency?
We call Kwanzaa.
Kwanzaa?
Kwanzaa.
Like the
Actually,
holiday?
Yes, like it's like it's the name of
We have
Kwanzaa. Yeah, that's Kwanzaa. It's our currency, and it's named after one of the main river in Angola. It's called Rio Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa River is one of the biggest in Angola. That's why they name it the currency after that river, Rio Kwanzaa. That's when I say that's holiday Kwanzaa. It's a KWANZA.
Kwanzaa. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm thinking like
That's when I say that's holiday
Wow.
Kwanzaa. I say, what is
that's
holiday
a Kwanzaa.
Kwanzaa?
Again, that's us recreating culture.
We have a lot of things to investigate. Example, we have here in America, we have one prison. I don't know, in
Angola?
Chicago.
No,
That's
Chicago,
we go into
Indiana.
Louisiana.
Indiana.
Is it Indiana? I know they have
We
the
try to
Angola 6 in
investigate.
Louisiana.
Why?
Yeah, but in Louisiana, you have to get about the
We're
prison,
there,
like
we're there,
the federal prison, like one of the
We're there.
Wow.
dangerous prison is in Indiana. It's an
And
Angolan
you,
state.
and you know why that name they put that
Right
name
on.
was the slavers black during that on that time we need to investigate that too. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
I've been
Money is
there in Indiana because I was a truck driver, and I was passing. Said, wow, Angola! That's the famous Angolan city. It's in Indiana. I just took a picture that was one of the federal prison, like really
The
toughest
slavers
yeah,
there
yeah,
was so
Angola. But we
I
don't
know
know
they
if
had the-
I don't
I
know
know
if
they
we-
had the Angola 6 in New Orleans, and that was during the 60s. And they
60s.
rioted and so
Yeah.
it's a long history.
Yeah.
They call the Angola 6. You may want to look at that.
because
Look at
all
the
this
Angola
the
6.
problem until right now the government today don't see exactly what is this the slavers the Portuguese taken from Angola what they stopped. Some slaves they was in India. In India we have one city we call in India they have a city we call Goa. That's the only city the Portuguese stopping to try to colonize. But I never when I was in Angola I never did this. I learned this when I come here, when I try to do my investigations. When I find they have a black slavers, they stop the Portuguese take sell to India. They have black Indians there in Goa.
Okay,
and
so-
then it's one of the most beautiful city too on Indian.
Yeah,
they have
there's a-
So,
beach,
did
they
y'all
have
have-
houses like
Oh,
in
yeah.
Europe. Yeah,
Did y'all have
Oh,
freedom
yeah.
fighters? And this is kind of that fought against the Portuguese.
Uh-huh.
Like, who were some of your most famous freedom fighters that y'all had that fought against the Portuguese?
Oh, we had 3 movements, and each movement had their leaders.
Yeah.
So in MPLA, we had Agostinho Neto, which became the first Angolan president.
Yeah, that's wise.
In FNLA, we had the Olden Roberto.
Yeah.
And in UNITA, we had Jonas Savimbi.
Savimbi in
So-
America is one most famous because it was on the cartoons too.
Which one?
Where Savimbi.
So,
Yeah,
okay.
No, Savimbi was famous because also during the Civil War, the United States was helping him. So United States and South Africa was helping Savimbi, which was the leader of UNITA, and the Soviet Union and Cuba was helping and the
No, but-
MPLA.
But these who know about this is only older people here in America. But I say younger generation right now, they know too much.
Because
of
they don't watch
cartoon
that
movie.
cartoon. That cartoon
It was famous. You know, yeah, you don't play
Yeah.
video games.
Yeah, but
I'm
we're
talking
talking
about American boys. They play video games.
Yeah, but
They there on
Yeah,
YouTube.
but
if you go,
yeah,
it's
we're talking
famous.
about the real stuff, what,
Yeah.
like real stuff is like, Savimbi.
Yeah.
is-
It was a great.
very, very great.
It is one of the great Where
Y'all
else?
some real brothers.
Where else in Africa?
Yeah, but the real
everybody
stuff,
know.
but
Everybody
real
know.
stuff, real stuff.
Y'all are
about,
real brothers.
Yeah.
Look, that's what
Everybody know
brothers
him.
do. But to me,
Yeah.
that's what make great conversation. So I would say, I like to listen to conversation. And y'all remind me, because brothers like, no, I'm talking about, no, you know. So y'all
Yeah,
got
but
that.
real
So that
stuff
was
is
some of
like,
y'all
you know,
heroes.
yeah.
Did y'all have any females that were
It
warriors?
was a great hero. America respected
No,
him, helping him a lot too.
we
Who's that Angola queen everybody talked about, or Angola warrior woman who fought? Well, I can't remember her name.
The only
Naya
one,
Sancho, not her.
the only
Yeah, but Jinga Mbandi was
on the colonialism.
But there was some Diolinda Rodriguez, but wasn't
It
part
wasn't
of the
here.
MPLA, you know, some.
It wasn't here in America. He meet with Martin Luther King too, probably her. Yeah, because Yolinda was here because they come to America. That time when the revolution, single revolution African starting. No, the Methodist Church, they bring her to America. It was meet with Martin Luther King. I think so. With they watch one during that time. They watch one Malcolm X. It was there. It was here. Yeah, it was here on Harlem. It was here.
Do y'all
Was
still have
the-
traditional garb in terms of clothes that y'all wear? Do y'all still do any? Do they still do any of that in Angola? I know that kind of sounds like a weird question, but
No, yeah, they have a tradition of, even though in a capital city people will, you know, wear as a Western, but there's still those people that they want to keep the clothes, especially my grandmother. I never see my grandmother with the regular clothes. They always, you know, dressing with the regular, this kind of African
fabrics or
Fabric, yeah, like that. But
Yeah,
that
they
one
always-
is not real from Angola because all African countries they have the type of
I get that.
The
This
way
is-
they-
this
the
is
way
from,
they paint.
Ghana, but
yeah.
I get that.
If
They-
you go
they-
to Congo, they know already the type of the fabric and the way they paint is way. In Angola, they know too the real ones is they identify all countries. Yeah.
So what would be an Angolan fabric?
Wow.
The most popular is the one that is in a Mokobal, is the one that is in the Wheeler.
in South.
Yeah, it's
That those
That those right there.
those Mumuila. That's on
How can you tell?
Yeah.
I'm
Because
just curious.
They have difference. They have two type of that.
Because I see a lot of beading work on
Yeah,
this. I'm
they
sorry,
have
she's going to get loud in a minute. Let me see.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
They have
See if I can make it bigger. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Wrong way. So that's so everybody can kind of
Mumuila,
see.
yeah. They have Mukubao.
So right here.
That's Mumuila, yeah.
So the bead, like this, all look like Native
Yeah.
Americans. Native Americans do beading work like this.
Really?
I'm not kidding.
And,
Yeah.
And then if you try to go investigate it more, those stuff it comes from Africa.
No,
You
no,
see
definitely.
that?
Yeah, I
You
agree.
see that?
No, I
You
agree.
see that in Kenya on the tribe of on Kenya. You see on what kind of tribe was that? Forget the name. You see that on Kenya, that tribal, and in one part of that tribe they immigrate to Angola. Yeah, and one part they immigrate to Angola. One part they stop it to a little bit on South Africa. Yeah, they have one tribe.
Another question. Do you? I'm just going to ask this question. Do y'all ever do tribal marks and stuff like that?
Tribal
Somebody thought I had a tribal mark. I said no, I got scratched.
Yeah. Well, we
I had even have a scratch.
yeah.
tribal mark.
Because tribal marks. I
We
used to get. I used to be like a tomboy, so I have much scratches. But
We have that on the south. We have one ethnic group. They have that kind of stuff. As parents, province too. They have one side of what the people,
Melange.
and we call Melange the province where my mother born. Yeah, they have one side of the province. They have a people, special people. They have, example, on that tribal too. Those is Mumuila. That's no Mukuba. On Mukubaos, you identified all them because they when I was on a 9 or 8-year-old, they broke one is T on the middle. All them they don't have a T on it.
oh,
No, they enlarge. They
enlarge.
You see marks, just like
they enlarge the
Wow.
T.
okay.
Or you identify all them.
Because all of those things have meanings, right? Does it help you to identify like a tribe or
Yeah,
something like
yeah,
that? Or-
identify. Yeah, they have a lot of
we don't know exactly what they do that for. Probably when they get some on the puber and puberty, they do that. So that they have this kind of cultures and traditions.
So in the culture that you all are from, I mean, in your tribe, or do they still have laws about when you're supposed to be married, how many children you're supposed to have, or do they? Or no, that's like
On the city, no, because we're born on the city. We grow up on the city, on the big city. On
Yeah,
the Babylon.
unfortunately, we were, our generation, they lost all this.
Yeah.
But
But the ones they born is still born on the village, out
Yeah.
of the big city, on the Luanda capital. Yeah, they still have.
but
those
they don't have
concepts.
this kind of
They
how
still
many children do you have? You must have,
Yeah.
But we only have the only thing that we still have that is alambamento. Alambamento is a tradition. It's a dowry. Like when you want to
Dowry,
get
okay.
a dowry, when you want to get a girlfriend or a woman, so you have to pay. This still exists even if you're in the city. You still have to give some goods to the family of the woman.
So the Mumulas, they be different from that tribe.
Yeah. I'm just saying in general, in Angola in general, the dowry still is predominant, but it's different from each part. Each part is more conservative, more strict. Other place, example in north, if they say, those box of beers and the soda.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you have to measure. If the woman is tall, they have to count. How many.
Wow.
How many?
It's like
how
the
many
cell of
boxes
the door.
How many? It's
The
not-
older guy can take
it's like
Yeah.
it's like if she's tall, she's gonna be very hard to to be engaged because people are afraid to pay a lot of bucks of beers and the soda. You have to give like a cow, a cow.
Wow.
Give her money, give a lot of things. It's a good thing, like so that you can
It's
be ready.
traditional thing.
It's if you don't have that money, so you're not ready to have a wife because
That
wife-
makes sense.
yeah,
No,
because
no.
You don't take, yeah, you don't take it.
because the money means
Yeah.
to have a woman means that you have to be ready financially, physically,
I know,
emotionally, especially financially because traditionally the woman very much will be in a home, take care of things, educate the children. So that you have to be a provider.
Because
So-
the parents they spend too much on the heart too since they was a little baby until
Wait,
18
you
or
said it's too much on
they
the
spend too
what?
much on his daughter.
Oh, no, okay,
You
I'm
need to come
sorry.
and pay.
That's not
No,
the
that's-
point.
that's-
That's not the point. Because also
Yeah, you need to bring
I mean,
it. You
I can say also that my
you need to
parents.
bring sweet for the uncle, not for the father. You need to bring expensive shoes for uncle, for father. You need
They
to
will
bring
hold it down.
you need to bring money on the envelope for 600 or 1,000. Some family they
I
ask
did
for
that.
$1,000
No,
on
but
the envelope.
it's not because they spend a lot of money in a daughter.
Yeah,
Because
that's the concept.
my mother also
of the
spending
older
money
people.
on me, so
That's the concept of all But the bad thing is
Okay.
that this only happen only girls when you have a sister. Example, with us, a
I
man,
worked that.
when you go get it, the other girl
You
from
gotta
other
pay.
family, I'm the one. My parents is the one gonna spend. But the one who come for taking my sister
Yeah.
is the one who need to pay.
So let me
Yeah,
ask you
for
this.
us
So when you think
It's
about
not
that,
to pay. Don't use this term pay.
It's pay. It's sell. That's
sell.
dowry. It's a dowry.
No, that's a sell. Sell my daughter to another family. Yeah, that's a sell. Since I was a kid, I told that to my dad. Yeah, that's selling. Well, I have 7 sisters. All my sisters, they was a selling. Yeah, I didn't sell all my sisters.
but your sister gets to go live
Yeah.
with the man's side of the family, right?
Yeah, and in some
So
of the
let me ask y'all
time,
this. So say if you got married to somebody, y'all had children, it didn't work. Do y'all do divorce?
they're divorced. Yeah,
I'm
Yeah,
just
no,
asking,
no.
like, not like,
If you get married in civil,
Yeah.
or of course you get it. But
what about in terms of culture though?
yeah, the culture, no. They just sit in the family. Nothing didn't
Sit
work
down.
out, and
talking.
but it's
the
very
girl
hard.
family, the girl family, the lady family, and the man's family, all talking. And learn
But
one
it's very
conclusion.
it's
very
difficult.
hard. It's very hard because
Yes.
normally there is a situation, they can separate for a while, 3 weeks, 1 month, then they come again. They see, what's the problem. They try to solve, not
Okay.
to
Not like
separate
we
to
done.
divorce.
Remember,
Hold on. Especially the goal is not to divorce or to separate. The goal is always to come to a conclusion.
Yeah.
What went wrong? Because when they're young, they don't have experience to live with the two people. It's very hard. So that's why they can have like 3 or 4 meetings always to reconcile because you don't see a lot of separation.
Remember
divorce.
half hour ago or 1 hour ago when I used the topic about the submission. That's what I'm talking about. Most the women in Africa, because traditionally that's they happen. Whatever, if the husband they cheating 1 time, 2 times, they still with the man because family they're gonna sit down and talking and forgive everything. The wife didn't forgive the man, and then they be on the concept, okay, still together. But this here in America, only those, not only in America, in Europe, they
No,
don't
because
have because
they have other choices.
divorce.
Right.
You go on your side, you go on your side. The kids, that's they don't have to be. That's the way I'm saying. Most of
No,
the
I agree with
African
you.
girls they submit on that kind of aspect because
No, I don't
whatever
think
they
that's
have on the marriage,
I get that.
they're still there. The woman's still there for his man.
So-
Whatever the man is spanking her, beating her, they still there for his man.
Okay.
You know?
I'm right
That's
there
the
with
type
you.
of
So
thing.
say if it doesn't work, they did all the meetings and
Yep.
they separate, they divorce, right?
Yeah,
So they have children together.
yeah.
So if they separate, where do the children go?
With the mother.
With the man most of the time.
Most of the time, it's rare. Like see the
So
father
if she
taking
gets
the-
remarried, do the children still stay with her and the new husband?
still
Yeah.
with her.
For the
Okay,
man.
that's kind of like
Yeah,
how we
for
go.
the man.
Because I've heard men from West
Oh.
Africa, like from Ghana, Nigeria,
Yeah.
say the children go with the dad. I'm like,
Yeah, the Muslim,
Yeah.
the Muslims, yeah, they
They
normally they take
When
the
they're Muslim,
take the boy.
they take
She's a Lisbon boy. I know one guy he married Angolan. So when he came back, so he took his boy and he
Yeah.
left the 2 girls. So
They go
because
to
they
the man.
they value men,
they value the
men.
boy.
So, but in
They-
Angola,
That's
splitting
Muslim.
up the family.
but
That's
but in Angola, since the men they are very,
Yeah.
they live in a promiscuity, so they have polygamy.
Yeah.
Polygamy. So to having kids is very easy. They have like 5 wives, not wife, like women's. You know, they can have.
like here in the U.S.
Yeah, the same
No,
thing.
but
Some
he
event-
is
involved
very
with the
controlled.
different
But
women.
there, they,
What you mean is
Yeah,
big?
he-
So
no,
all the
big-
baby
They-
daddies
no,
they
no,
got
no,
children?
they
no,
pay
but
child
here they-
support.
but here the government control
Africa,
and
no.
the people.
They
They don't pay child support here either.
No, but people
I
here
don't
get
think-
scared about child support. You know,
Yeah.
even
I
though
get
some
that.
people, but in
Yeah.
Angola
I
you
get
can
that.
have
Yeah.
50 kids.
You
You
can
know,
abuse.
they don't. The father
They
don't fight for the kids because it's very easy to have a lot of kids they want.
I can
They're
see
gonna
that.
sleep with the woman. They're gonna become pregnant, and they're gonna be on the time on the moment to assume the woman and the kid. Say no, they go to the other woman.
Especially
And
yeah.
the government they don't do nothing to the guy. And then here in America, man, you know, they need
That's
to be
true.
careful.
And his
They
point,
pay-
and his point,
yeah. They
there
pay
there was
child
a,
support.
in the 80s until 90s there was a custom of people to deny that they were the author of the pregnancy. They can pregnant. They say no, that's not me.
Yeah.
And
The
the
woman's still there
girls
for
they
his-
can say like
himself.
for
Try
the
to fight
kids.
for kids.
there was a lot of people denying like
Yeah.
I was not it was not me.
Yeah.
That was a culture to deny when you impregnate a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
don't
So,
wanna assume.
so with that all being said,
Mhm.
oh God, do y'all have a thing where people have more than one wife in your? Is it just Islam or is that? Because
No,
what you'll hear
yeah,
Africans say in America, the
Yeah.
African Americans say
Yeah.
that's African culture for a man to have more than one wife.
All kind
We
of
say like the whole continent of Africa.
all
they're
Africa,
like,
yeah.
come on, like
That's
come,
the
it's a whole continent. It ain't like
Yeah.
your neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
most
is
of
it
it-
the same way in Angola?
it's-
Like
yeah,
a man
Actually,
have more than
my
one wife?
my father had more than 5 women. So I have 5 of
5
that.
women or 5 wives?
Wives.
Not wife, women,
Not for
because he
wife.
didn't get married.
They involved together, have kids, go to other one. They involved
Oh.
together, have kids, go to other one.
No. There are some like do that, but there's some like they stay with the women, but not
The
the wife
women.
because they're not married. He can like stay here 3 days, 3 days there, 3 days. No, he have like three women's, not wife.
Just
Because
for
I say
wife.
wife is no, but technically
They
it's
know
wife,
where
you
his
know,
wife.
because
I get that, but
No
no
on
they
the
didn't go down
paper.
to South.
Yeah.
the
yeah,
paper.
I don't
say that.
consider it a wife
Yeah.
because, but no, it should be wife because after certain years, and the people know that this guy have a
Common law.
5 women, this guy have a 3 women, they have
different
there.
wives.
My father, I have 5 sisters and 5 brothers because my father have different women. So
That
this is
sound like here, though.
this is
My
not
father
this is-
not.
this is-
They have one.
3 had 3.
I have 3.
Your father had 3 wives.
3 brothers from different mothers.
Your father had
But with
it.
my mom, they live for
Yeah, your father had the three
Maybe
women,
something
or 3 or
years.
4.
Do y'all talk
Yeah.
just like
No,
that? Like
that's
you
one.
got, he has 3,
No,
you have
That's
2.
true. When no, that my
3.
no,
No.
my big sisters,
Uh,
those one.
yeah, but
Those one come when I was a teenager. When before they married my mom, they don't have other
yeah,
other
but
woman
before I'm
outside.
saying before there was
But
there
you
were 3.
dead already, yeah.
Yeah, 3.
Yeah.
You had
No.
3.
No,
Yeah.
two.
Cubano.
My mom, yeah, it's from the same mom. With the Mingote is the same mom.
But
Yeah.
there's another one, like
No,
the
same
oldest,
mom.
the oldest,
Same mom.
the oldest.
Same mom, yeah. We just have two. The first when I was a
See,
teenager.
these are some things that we have
Yeah.
commonalities
Yeah.
on. That's why I'm laughing. 'Cause
Yeah.
we do this exotic
No,
thing
it's
with
common
Africa.
because
All
We'll be like, in Africa, it's normal for men to have as many wives.
10.
And y'all basically, you said 10?
Yeah. Traditionally, I'm just gonna tell you, that's the city thing. If you go on out of the big city, the capital, on the village, they have special elder people.
Oh,
They
Lord.
need to have that 11, 12 wives. They
For
need to
one
have
man?
for one all the elder because it's we call in
elder?
Africa we call region
How many kids is he gonna have
soba.
with each of them?
We
How
call
many,
soba. They know
if he
all
old,
the
how many
women.
kids he gonna have?
20s, 25. Some
You
they have
said
30
an old
kids.
elder. What is an old elder?
It's
What
like
age is that?
it's like you know the old guy of the village. They need to have all those wives, and then all those wives they know each one they know. Another one is the guy sleep there on Monday. Another one another house they sleep there on Tuesday. Another house they sleep there on Wednesday. All those wives they know each other too. That's a
What about
culture.
when they want to have somebody on the
That's a
days he
culture.
can't make it?
That's
What-
part of the culture. Most of the countries in Africa is like
So
that.
there are no women
All
who
the
have
time.
more than one husband.
They all the women
No,
they know
no.
each other. They know each other. They know each other.
That's
Your
that's-
face, you said,
They know
no.
each other. But for young generation, those they don't do that. But that kind of polygamy
I
is
get
yeah.
that.
no,
all
No,
but
the
I'm
people-
looking at your face. You said,
all the people
no,
in the village.
no.
all
So
the
the
people in
men
the
can
village.
have up to 10 wives. You get the number 10, maybe 16
Yeah.
fingers. I don't
Yeah.
know. But when I said the
10
women, you
wives.
was like,
Yeah.
no.
but this is
New
also
generation, those
discrimination.
days,
Like but there are some the thing is like a lot of men died in the war, and according with statistic, men should have 6 or 7 women to populate
But
because
that's
there is not
not-
enough men.
That's
But
not
that's-
the excuse.
The-
Yeah, in America, a lot of men die on the war too. You know how many single moms
War on
in
the
the
street,
US?
war on the street.
Yeah, on the street, drugs, and you know, shooting on the army. You know how many
Yeah,
single
no, but-
American moms?
Yeah, but-
everywhere.
Yeah, but that's not excuse.
Yeah.
But this is
Yeah.
not like it. This is something like it's normal in Africa. That's not
Yeah.
true. We
On the
to
village,
be
yeah.
able to
On
be-
the village, they true.
But true.
That's-
no,
that's
no, we have to-
culture.
no, we-
That's cool. On the
yeah,
village,
the
they
culture. That's culture. But
For
we're
all-
talking
you know
about
that.
Angola.
Yeah.
The
In
structure
Angola.
of the government is not allowed you to have more than one wife. You
Okay,
should
I
have
get that
only one.
legally.
Legally, you should have
Oh
only one.
yeah, marriage. Yeah,
Even
yeah.
morally, you should have only one. This excuse of a tradition, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
This is just big
Traditionally,
word
it's that way.
people like
10
but
Yeah.
you should only have one. It's
Yeah.
not only cultural. It's not like illegal. It's morally. Some you can handle one, but you're gonna have it 2 or
Yeah.
3.
That's real talk.
But
Yeah.
but traditionally, yeah,
Our
it's that
parents
way.
they had
10
3,
wives.
4 because it was
10
easier and they took advantage. So
And then is
and
it
the women they were like fragile. But now you can do that.
Yeah.
You cannot do
Is it
that.
in Angola is more different if you go to those white African countries
Muslims country,
is
like-
more disrespectful and dangerous. The young girls, 12 years old, they're already when they're 12, his parents already choose the girl to be married 40 years old guy.
I can believe that.
1 year. That's
I
they
can
have
believe
on those Muslim white countries in Africa, North Africa. Yeah.
I can
They
believe
have
that.
more
But it's just,
disgusting.
I hear
Disgusting.
writing off stuff to African culture when it's probably, I don't know about it being African culture, it's what that person is doing.
Yeah.
It's like if I started something now and say, this is what African Americans do, but I'm the only person that's doing it, maybe 3 or 4 of us are doing it,
They do it.
but the rest of African Americans aren't
Yeah.
doing it. That's just some
Yeah.
stuff we doing over here, because that's what we do up in here. You know what I mean? Africa's a whole continent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And made up of a bunch of countries, not
Yeah.
cities or towns or blocks. This is a whole
Yeah,
continent.
it's a whole continent with the 53 countries, and the
Right.
last one was
Different
South Sudan.
cultures, different.
But in terms of
Yeah.
getting wives, marry wife,
culture is the same.
it's kind of the
Yeah.
same. Like that's a mentality to have more than one, more than two, more than
All
three.
villages the same.
I think like this is a man. It's not being sexist. This is a man. This is a man mentality. It has nothing to do. Here in America, the white don't have is because the government, the system,
No, but they have that polygamy.
yeah.
Here on Utah, that
No, this is
the-
religion.
They have some in the Bay
Mormons-
Area.
Yeah,
They
this
have
is
some
religious
black
stuff.
men who-
We are talking
You
about
discovered Africa, and now they
this,
do it.
this we are talking about the
the
general
government, they
aspect.
do nothing.
That's what I'm trying to say. That's the many mentalities to have more. You can see when you have your girlfriend, but you still, you still envy other women. So this is, I think, this is natural. The problem is like in Africa, you are okay, or you are allowed, or you can do that. But if you hear, the society will judge you, or the system will enforce you not to do that. But mentally, like naturally, a man, I think, was built naturally to have more than one.
You don't
I
think
don't
women-
approve. I
You
don't
don't think
approve.
women was
It's more
built to do
power
that
to
too?
traditionally on those
You know what I see.
when you have that traditionally,
What I see,
it's
a
a
women-
power too.
I get that, but I'm just saying. So you just said, I don't agree with you. If you're saying naturally is natural for a man to want to have other women, and I get
That's
that.
his point.
I'm not. No. I'm agreeing
No,
with you.
That's
when
your
I
point
see
of
when
view.
I see a woman, I'm talking about in a men mentality, because I'm not a woman. I can't talk about the woman
Right.
aspect, because I believe a woman, the way they are not satisfied with one man, they have like multiple, where we say, it means like they also, it's like we as a men, we discriminate to women since the origin of the world. So we
But-
always discriminate women. That's why we
But
think
you
like
change
something,
your mind because
hold
you-
on. Sometimes we think like women cannot do some stuff. So that's
Right.
that's being sexist. So we were just
I get
raised as a sexist. That's why when we say something, we put the women's aside, which I think women is also, were built not. She will have like this birth. She will share 3 men. It's like naturally women cannot do that, but a man can move. But the women, okay, she's pregnant. How can she's gonna
Why woman
share
can
her
move?
pregnancy with the 3 men? They don't know which
But it's the
pregnancy.
It's the village. You expect all the other women to share in the birth of one woman's
Mhm.
child.
No, I'm saying like how she already shared 5 men, a woman. How her body,
It's a community.
yeah, her body will not allow to her, because okay, you are
You're
pregnant.
the family.
You are pregnant.
You're
No,
the family.
but imagine if a woman is pregnant with me,
Yeah.
and she has another husband, so she will go to another guy, or she wait until get birth, then she'll go to another. It's just her body
But
will
You
not
basically
don't
saying
allow
that
her
she
to
can
do that.
only. You basically
But
saying
you don't judge that because this happened.
I'm not a judge. I'm just giving any context and any reality of a woman and the biological aspects of a woman.
100 years.
A man
on-
can
on
move.
ABC when Jesus on
Don't
when
you
at the
start
creation.
showing Jesus.
No, I am not too much a church guy, but what I learned when I was young, on the creation of the world, man, we come from the same. If you see, you come from the same. Adam and Eve, his kids, they don't have different. They are the family, only family. And his sister, they married his brother. There was everything on the family.
Man,
On the Sodom and Gomorrah, the 2 sisters were sleeping with his father because they don't have other men.
No,
there.
but we are talking different aspects. We are talking about how a woman can have more than 3
But
when
they
three
have, on the past,
husbands at the same
on the
time.
past they
What I'm
happen
saying is
too.
at the same
It
time.
can happen.
Just a husband can,
Can
because her body allowed her to do that.
Yeah.
But I think it's very difficult for a woman sharing 3, 5, men.
I get what you said. I'm just playing
That's
devil's
your point
advocate
of
here.
view. Yeah.
I'm messing with you, and I totally.
It's not
I
being
totally agree.
sexist, because I don't.
In a way,
accept-
it is kind of being sexist.
Yeah, because
Everything.
No,
But that's the word. But that's the word is going.
But I get what you're saying. So I'm saying, like, for instance, anybody could do. You can do whatever. I can do whatever. I mean,
That's
I get
the
that
word
completely.
is.
Mhm.
You can't
However,
judge nobody.
I would say when you think about a genetic makeup of man
Yes.
and woman, that totally shifts.
will,
supposed to
yeah,
be.
We're
will,
able to
yeah,
do it.
will.
And I agree with
We're
that. I
not
was just
allowed
being
her to
silly
do
with you.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just being silly.
That's
with you.
Yeah.
that's supposed to be that's your point of view, but the world don't accept it. That's your point of view. The world don't accept because that's the word is.
But even
Every
though,
part
even,
of the world.
even though
You go-
you have white men here who have more than one wife,
You go
like
to
in Utah, like in some places in Texas. But I know
see.
some black
Yeah.
men in America who are African American men.
Yeah.
So They because they're Muslims or they're traditional African, like
Mhm.
Europe, whatever. They
Yeah.
have more than one wife.
Yeah.
Now,
That's
I just say that they
polygamy.
got yes,
Yeah.
but
Why do
legally
people-
they
yeah.
only married to one.
Okay.
Legally, that's why I asked about that.
Yeah.
But they really, cause they all believe in this culture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the
Yeah.
women have signed on to it.
The more,
Like we gonna do this for the
those-
culture.
white people here on the
Yeah, and
Utah,
there are
the
some
Mormons,
groups,
they
you know,
have it. Yeah,
you know,
10,
this is
5 wives that charge what they call Saint of Jesus Christ of the
Later-day
days or what,
Saints.
yeah. They on Utah here, the government they don't do nothing polygamy. Young girls they forced to be married there. American government don't do nothing.
Yep, that's
What do
so
you
true.
think? You think
That
it's
is so
only in
true. They
Africa?
don't force them to do anything.
Yeah, young girls,
That's so
17
true.
years old, 14 years old, they forced to marry with the
You're
old
right
guy
about
there.
that. Yeah. So they do
That's
that,
the
they
word
do
about
that
it.
here in the U.S.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna sit here and lie.
yeah,
When
but
I was in Africa, I had no idea. I only
No,
thinking,
that's a
I only
religion. But they're
judge
not
you was
forced.
on my
They're
continent.
not forced.
Yeah,
they
but they
are
know.
not forced.
Yeah,
they're not
that's
forced.
forcing.
No.
When you force some girl, 17 years old,
That's-
to marry
that's-
his uncle, 45 years old, that's force.
That's not forced. That's part of their culture.
No, that's
part
not
of-
American
that's
culture.
That's
That's
not
all white
American.
culture.
That's not American. That's their religion culture.
That's usually
That's-
religion.
yeah.
It's usually
Use it like
Yeah.
it's a religion,
Yeah,
but it's not.
They do use it like
That's-
a religion.
Like Muslim
that's why
also
we
in
call it
Africa, they use
polygamy.
religion. That's also in Angola, they use the tradition.
No, only in
The people
Africa.
they use the tradition
That's
to
what
have
I'm
to
saying. No,
abuse
that's
the-
that's
to
what I'm
abuse
saying.
the
It's not
things.
in Africa.
You know, in Africa,
You go
yeah.
to Iraq, you go to Afghanistan, the
That's
same
what I'm
concept.
saying. Yeah, they use
Wow.
their tradition, they use the religion, they use the
11
Muslim
years old
to have.
girls on
No,
the-
I agree. I
on
agree.
the-
Don't
You're
say
right.
they are
You're right.
forced.
Iraq.
They are born with that they're
Yeah.
the women, the kids, the mothers, they teach, you know, the family, the father, they teach their children, you
That's
know, when they are 12, 13, they are raised, you know, to become a wife. So it's not forced.
No,
They
not that
raise it.
age. That's forced.
So
No.
is there so in
That's
your
not
culture
forced.
country, are there boys' rites of passage, things that you do to learn to be a man? Do you learn just from watching your
No,
dad?
no,
or
you
go
just
through a
learn.
certain
You
training
just
of rites of
learn.
passage?
You just learn. You just seeing, and there. That's a good question because one thing like in Africa in 80s, 90s was very difficult for our parents to educate us. Okay, don't do that because it is this. You know, you have to, in order for you successful, you have to do that. It's very rare in those days to have parents to sit with the kids. It's like their education is to spank, is to scream, is to scold. You know, they don't have the. I've seen here like the parents sit with the kid. You know, that educate, like education at home. When you say education at home, but there you just learn. You just living. You know, you just learn when you see your parents, how your father deals with your mother, how your uncles, neighborhoods, and the neighbors. That's the way education
It's very
is.
different.
Yeah, but nowadays I see like the parents they are trying to educate.
Yeah,
sit
they do,
with the
but
kids.
they still the same.
Yeah.
They still the same way.
Yeah.
Whatever is the lifestyle that people change and they go the more what they say in English, the more modernism.
Yeah, more modern.
Modern things now they come on all countries in Africa, but they still kids there. Example, kids here, you can touch you understand. If your son don't listen too much, you can pop it, you can slap. I know some. I see that on some Afro-American families, like in Africa. I say that's the way kids are supposed to do.
Yeah,
They don't listen to anybody. But some families they're scared because they go in jail or the government they're gonna take the kids. Blah, blah. Those stuff in Africa don't happen. In Africa don't happen. Kids
No,
that is busy.
No, but also, but
Yeah,
a lot of parents in Africa they
Yeah.
abuse also.
They
They don't spank like the
you're
way
gonna
of
tell me you're
education.
gonna tell me you're gonna be abused too
They-
when you
they-
was a kid
They
because your mom is spanking.
they
My mom is spanking me a lot when I
Yeah,
was a
but
kid.
But some people can go
But-
overboard.
No, but
Yeah.
Like,
today I
they
grow
sit on
up
the back and stuff.
yeah,
But
but that was
today-
too much. Yeah, that's a
No.
lot of people. They grew up with some mental
Because you
problems
come in
because
a-
that spanking
see
is
that.
exaggeration. They spank you like
You
know.
learn.
So if you talk,
You learn.
so when we talked
You
earlier
learn.
about being with other cultures,
Yeah.
some other cultures don't believe in spanking their
Mhm.
kids.
like yeah.
Like what would
Like
you do?
here.
What would you do
Yeah,
if you
that's
was
what
with
I'm
a woman? I'm just saying. And
That's
she was
wrong.
like European people. That's what I'm saying.
That's
They
wrong.
should. That's why the kids go shoot the whole school
Yeah,
when they sleep
that's it. They should
because they don't
happen.
believe in whooping. They be like, I
Yeah.
taught Timmy, sit down. I mean,
Yeah.
I see that kids
I
do
see that.
stuff.
I've seen
and I'm
that.
like, Timmy, sit down. I feel like
No.
that.
My mom
Let me sit
was-
down. But I'm just saying, so That's the
I
other
wasn't
thing.
raised as being spanked.
Yeah,
I was raised
spanking,
spanking,
real
spanking,
spanking.
but
I,
real
I,
spanking.
my
But
mother, I knew she would do it,
But
but I
you
ain't
know,
allowed her.
but you see what kind of man, what kind of person he is today. You learn it. That's for you learn how to be on the world.
yeah, no, but
This
what
world
I'm
is
trying to say
dangerous.
is
You
what
guys
you
will
learn.
what
Yeah,
I'm
you
trying to say
learn
is a lot
how
of
to be on
parents
this
there in
world.
Africa, they exaggerate the spanking.
That's
Like
saying.
they over spank.
I get
Like
that.
you if you see somebody spanking one kid, you was like, really? That's like
You learn it to become a
like
man.
like you said.
Yeah, you learn it to
You
become a man.
survived this war.
Yeah, you survived that. Those they say thank you to his mom.
Thank
In the way they teach him. Yeah.
That was spanking like yeah.
Oh,
No,
y'all
that's
killing me
No,
right now.
I'm saying thank you for my mom from the way they teach me. If I am the person I am today, yeah. That's thanks for the spankings my mom gave me when I was a kid, because if I not do that to me, I don't.
Okay,
I
what was
don't-
the most?
Yeah.
Now this is kind of hard. I
It's
wrote me on
supposed
this
to
one.
be him.
What has been one of the most scariest things
Yeah.
you've seen in America that you was like, "Ooh, I think I wish I would be back home." A little bit. Just be honest. Like, it's gotta have more. You like, man, I wish I was home.
This happened to me when I came in my first year, because I came in 2009 to 2010. I came on the first time when Obama, the first black brother, became president of the United States.
Right.
Yeah, I never forget. January, yeah, when Obama started to go to White House for the first time, that's when I came to. And my first year, I don't see, but the second year, yeah, I was feel like, man, I want to return home.
What
Yeah,
was going
I
on?
feel because that was because I see like people here is not too much friendly. I see like people is too much close. You know, everybody when people come from his job home. It's not like in Africa, everybody's family. It's your neighbors. You see people outside talking, hang out, and every fun neighbors. People you no idea who they are, but we already friendly. Like you think it like, oh, they're my cousin, but they no idea was the people here. But when I came here, I don't see that, and then that stuff here. My second year, yeah, they started making me down. Like, damn, America's like that. Damn, I feel like, man, I'm gonna back home. But when I start to know, how to say things in Cinquadrana,
Like,
get used on the American culture, because it's supposed to be on a culture. Yeah, well, that's when I start understanding. Yeah, he has different. He has this
so
family.
you start
we
to
need to be on
understand.
that.
Start to understand the animal. a little bit.
Yeah, how American is, and then yeah, and right now I'm here.
Yeah, I think
Just
it's pretty
come
much
on in 10
it
years.
was just kind of the same
Yeah.
thing. Like it's
Yeah.
because I didn't have a hard time,
Yeah.
going to school or getting a job. Is this part here to socialize?
Yeah.
To socialize because
The
we
culture,
were raised
it's
like
not-
in
it's not
in
easy.
a big family,
Yeah.
like we were saying, neighborhood, the
Yeah.
church, the school,
everywhere. People's
But
affected.
here you were like isolated.
That's California too, by the way. That's not like that on the East Coast.
Oh, nice.
I'm not trying to
Oh,
on the East Coast, people like, for instance,
Yeah.
on the East Coast, when
Uh-huh.
you live in like a major city, I'm from Philly.
yeah,
Mhm.
So when you come home from school, you go by the same people you go. So they be looking forward to you. Hey, Miss So and So, hey. And we all talk to each other. How you doing? Or sometimes if you stop by your mama's house or your
Uh-huh.
auntie's house every day
Yeah.
at 5:20, she's gonna be right here on her way home from work. So you do have that kind of
That
village
kind of
kind of mentality of being connected.
Environment.
But out here in California,
no.
it's different.
Here you
It's
you
a
don't see.
different animal.
That's what I say. When I get get Carmichael, you don't see people. You only see people in the cars. Only when you go to church or when you're in school.
Yeah.
And even in school, in the college,
At
so
the
people
work,
are in the
that's
class. They were not a class.
Yeah.
They go home. There is no like
We hang
wow.
There is no
You
environment.
you are missing. That's it.
That's broke
That's-
mind.
that's such a
broke
That's-
mind.
That's a West Coast thing. I mean, and I'm gonna say
That's broken.
California in particular, where you could walk past another black person, they look at you but not speak to you. I
Uh-huh.
make people speak to me. I'm like, hey, how you doing? Like, oh, hi. You know, that's
They
something
were
you don't
just
hear.
they were
But
just
on the
they were
East
just in your
Coast,
head like
yeah,
that.
and in the South, the people acknowledge you in the South. Even if they don't know you, they're gonna acknowledge you anyway. Once you know that, first of all, I see you. It's an acknowledgement. So they'll do a lot of head nods. What's up? This is what's
Uh-huh.
up.
That's what I'm saying. First year when
They
I
do
came,
all that.
I just see the brothers on the street. They see me, oh, black brother coming on my way. Yeah, I
They
just
do a
see.
head nod.
I just,
That's
so,
the way I
bro,
speak it. Yeah.
so, bro, I just, what's going on?
What's up, bro?
brothers. I see just do that with
Yeah,
the head.
that's
But
the
in
same.
Africa, we come and we
You
argue.
too- yeah.
Yeah, we hug for so
You
long.
gotta be careful with the hugging. Sometimes brothers don't hug you unless they know you because of where we are in this
The concept.
decade. Because they may be thinking they maybe yeah, something like that. So
That's
they
some-
don't,
that's some
I
say-
hate to say that because that shouldn't mean that you should
And
do this to hug your
that's-
brother because
That's the other sicky thing I find here in America, because in Africa, when I go visit my cousins, no, because I'm from Capitol, I'm from the city, the big city. But when I go in the village, oh man, guys, you no idea, we take shower
Yeah.
together on the
Yeah.
same river, naked, with
Yeah.
nothing on the body. And then, yeah, but here
It gets convoluted.
people, I don't know, that sickening thing in America. People go, oh, those guys gay.
Yeah.
But if you go see in
I know
Africa,
men who hold each other's hands don't mean that they're gay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I just feel like it's all of this stigma when you
Yeah.
be like,
And then-
dude, this is
and
my
then when
brother.
you're gonna see when you try to find the number of the gayism or lesbian thing in
Right.
America is exploding. You don't see in Africa. You're gonna count people gay. You don't see that, but it's becoming like an epidemic in America, and everywhere you go in America, that's why they
Yeah,
have
I
the
just-
number of
yeah.
gay people. And
I-
I don't judge that.
No, I get you, but I feel like
Yeah.
you should not.
Yeah.
If that a person should have the right to be able to say what's up to the same sex person
Yeah.
without there be some feeling of y'all may be gay. Like I think
Mhm.
that's why men get so overly masculized because people make you feel like if you're a man you got to show up like you can't be touching you like dude like hey how you doing bro
Whatever
like,
you.
you know like that don't mean
That's
we're checking
it, yeah.
for each other. That's
Yeah.
my so
Yeah.
for me I just feel like sometimes we just oversaturate stuff and then the meanings
is.
look different.
That's why.
Like they had this thing about Lupita and this Janelle Monáe or whatever. I don't really care for her.
Yeah.
And not because she get it. Like that's just
No, no.
something about her. Just
Yeah.
But I also feel like, how do we know that she wasn't congratulating her just because she gay?
Uh-huh.
Don't mean that the other person's gay.
He's gay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know.
Mhm.
But I just feel like it's such this political thing
Yeah.
on who people sleep with. Who gives a damn? Like I mean, let the sister make her movie. She's a good actress.
Yeah.
I think she's gonna be like the Sissy Tyson of our time
Mhm.
because she's in a lot of really good films and she's a great actress.
Yeah.
But what does this got to do with who she? I don't really give a damn about that.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing: when the cops pull you over,
Too
they ain't
much-
gonna pull
too
you over
much
because your
shaking.
car is
Yeah.
looking like this. They pull you over because you're black.
Too much second thing here. For example, when I came from Africa, I bring one shirt. I have. Well, I still have there one shirt from Lacoste brand. Lacoste brand shirt. That shirt is what color?
What's you mean LeBron?
Is a color of what is that color?
Rainbow.
Rose. Rose color.
Uh.
Yeah, it's rose, right? They gave
Rose.
people. Yeah, they gave people most. Like,
You know about the rainbow?
They're not
Or
giving them
pink.
a lot of colors. They have
Yeah, the
no,
flag.
from
It's like-
HEV sign up, but no, they have that kind of
the rainbow.
yeah, right.
It's a rainbow. It's a rainbow. That's
Yeah.
That's
When I came to America, I used that shirt a lot because in Africa we don't care.
Yeah.
But when I came in America, other guys they start to think I'm gay. I say, "Yeah, man, no, I'm straight, man. I'm straight, bro. Don't do
So you
that."
can't even wear
Yeah.
a rainbow shirt.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
this
I
shit
don't
they got
judge you
ridiculous.
gay people.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I get you.
that's not my business. I'm straight, man. I like a woman. I don't like a boy.
Right.
Yeah, well, don't.
Wear your rainbow shirt.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
I still
that's
have
true.
that shirt. I don't never put again.
You
Because
should
it-
wear
yeah,
that shirt.
Yeah.
Nothing
Because
wrong
people,
with
they
that
think
shirt.
Yeah.
You
Because
know,
people-
but that's
Yeah.
Do y'all believe in
It's
culture misappropriation?
Yeah.
Yes, I mean,
Now that you said that, made me think of that.
yeah, not that I believe, but I see a lot of misappropriation. Even when we talk about capoeira, we talk about some music. You know, example, we have a style of Angola, kuduro. It's a
Kudu?
It's a
kuduro.
dance and the music
Kuduro.
style.
It's a style. It's like R&B here, you know. But in Angola we have a kuduro. It's an Afro music there. You know, it's a kuduro. And you go into some country, they are misappropriate. You go to Europe, you go even into Brazil. There are some guys there, you know, making a lot of money and doing a lot of things with that style, you know, kuduro. So.
But they created in Angola.
And the good example is here in the United States, to the misappropriation. Sometimes, you know, the white people to just come in, like to the black community, just to misappropriate a lot of things,
Yeah.
like you know,
Like rap.
yeah. So yeah, but I don't blame them. I blame the we as a black that we don't know
don't
how
value.
to value
Value
our
our-
things.
our
We
stuff.
don't have a
Our
vision.
stuff,
We
yeah.
don't love ourselves. We don't connect how to do how we make our culture as to make money. So if a white guy or other people come and they have a vision, have a money, of
Yeah.
course he will get an advantage. So it's just it's our to blame. So we really don't like to share, to communicate, and have a vision, and to value our things, and it's like in a hair product, this other people like white people that they sell, the product for black people to the black people. Why don't black people, have a vision to do that?
People value themselves. They
Yeah.
want to shop with.
Yeah.
They value themselves in economics.
That's the thing they still destroy us. That's the thing they still destroy as continent Africa, because the greatest one they try to open African people, all those one the white people, they try to make it, to liquidate those guys, to kill those guys, to disappear those guys. You go in Congo, you're gonna see with Lubumba. You go to Ghana, you're gonna see the revolutionary guy they was killed too. You go to Libya, you're gonna see all those guys with open mind. They try to unify Africa, the black culture, black people. Yeah, there was eliminate. Who do that? The worst things.
Yeah, but those are those.
Worst.
That's what you're saying was the leaders, more. But nowadays, what happened, ourselves, we cannot, also just
We
have
never.
an excuse for those people. But we
But all governments in Africa still depend from.
no,
getting-
but we as a black community, so we are not
You gotta take
united.
some responsibility.
Yeah,
for
we
our
not take
situation.
responsibility.
I agree with that.
We don't love each other. We don't respect
That's
each
what I'm
other.
saying.
We don't communicate.
Yeah.
We envy. We don't marry our black sisters. When we have the money, we
Take that
give the
resource
money
somewhere
to
else.
somewhere else. So we don't value our things.
Yeah.
I think like we are to blame. Nowadays we are to blame because
The black,
Yeah.
the black people is
Yeah,
the
the
one
blame.
that need to.
because if you see, we really don't respect ourselves. We don't value ourselves.
That's it.
Yeah.
Black brother shooting black brother.
You
For
see,
no
and,
reason.
We
For
were
what?
showing like those people like that we with the sister was showing our the story
Uh-huh.
from the beginning.
And
Then
you
we
got
saw
the-
all those late. They have a lot of money. Their money, if they have like a vision, they can build the
That's
black
my point.
community.
Oh, yeah,
But
for
no, they
sure.
spend their money in the house, in the cars,
In the club.
women's in the clubs,
Yep.
and
That's so true.
clothes, jewelry,
That's it.
stuff like this. One jewelry like they put
Jordans.
can you pay 1 year salary of someone?
Jordans.
Every
Yeah.
day, go in the
Yeah.
store, Jordan, to buy, to still buy that
It's,
stuff. Like
we
come
are
on.
materialistic. We don't have that smart mentality. You see white people, they have a wealthy, but you see the way he dressed naturally. He's simple, but he's wealthy.
Help
Of
each
course,
other.
his house is a mansion, but
Help each
he
other.
don't show up like we as black. It means that probably it's because we didn't have. Then when we have, we want to show up. When you have money, your first thing is have to get this car. I have to get this clothes. I have to get this white girl, this Latina, this beautiful girl, just to show off to your friends that I have these beautiful women. So what are you gonna do with this beautiful woman?
But this is gonna still happen because since all those slaves, the colonization, they destroy all those things, and black community people everywhere.
But
We reject it everywhere. You go to Europe, you go to Germany or whatever what country, they receive all those African immigrants coming, but
Yeah.
they still hate black people. Everywhere. They still, you black, you monkey. Everywhere. On Brazil, they Afro. They mix the country. They have a lot of ethnic people from different part of the world. They go mix it there. On Brazil, they're racist. You go to Mexico, they're racist. With Disney, with the black,
we are not talking about
mix,
those people that
okay?
are racist. We are talking we as a black. We don't care about
We don't
who,
like it.
we don't
We
care
don't
about
like
who
all
those.
other blacks,
Yeah, you coming
And
with my
we don't
first
like
point
it.
when I was saying
We
like
don't like
we
it.
as a
It's
black,
China
we are
too.
the one to blame. We don't ignorant because
Yeah.
we think like white is better than us. You just pretty much.
No,
accepting my family.
I'm on the point, but
Yeah.
the thing I don't accept when you judge most of the guys, the brothers, they marry Latina girl, white girl.
We are not
They
the judge.
they
This is-
ignore or they say, okay, black sisters is garbage. Like you try to on the way.
This
I
is-
understand what you're trying
yeah,
to say.
but it is not the
But-
judging.
yeah.
This is the reality. It's something like, it's obvious that we see. It's not the
Yeah,
judging.
But
you
no,
know,
that's
But
not
when
the people.
when they are regular, when they have a regular life, when they are, can you say, poor,
Yeah.
their girlfriend is black.
Mhm.
A white wouldn't accept when if he didn't have the money. So why when
No,
when they have money,
They have
want
guys
to
on the
get married?
troops. They don't have enough. They have a white woman. That's not the thing. That's not
Every,
the
but
hey,
the
thing.
white
people
woman-
gonna take the black man no matter how you
Yeah,
show up. Let's just be
yeah.
honest. Like somebody, I'm
Yeah.
trying to tell you, the world.
I
loves
know. Yeah,
chocolate.
yeah. Well, when I have
No,
money,
we-
Yeah, he's a drug
Look,
dealer, but he has
yeah,
the money. You
right.
only to have that
So
white.
it's like people, like there was a big article that said
Mhm.
America loves black culture, but not black people.
Exactly.
Yes.
And I said it about the world. The
Yeah,
world
that's
loves
right.
black culture or African culture.
Culture,
but not the people.
Yeah, that's right.
So-
If you have seen a
That's
black
what I said.
drug with a beautiful white, if you see his white is
No, broken guy. Broken guy.
yeah, but the white
Broken
is
black brothers. They don't have a car. They walking every day on the bars and then with this white woman follow him.
yeah,
Yeah.
the
But
white,
when
but
should
the,
she be down for if the police pull her
Yeah.
over?
Yeah.
no, but if you see
She
the
like,
white,
oh my God.
the white is not
I don't
it's not
understand.
the beautiful too. It's just one other white.
What is white? We talk about color. No, that doesn't matter if they're beautiful white girl or whatever. Yeah, well, I'm a white girl. Yeah, we talk about it's the color. The color is
Y'all,
that's yeah.
this would
yeah,
be such
whatever.
a great discussion.
Yeah. But yeah, you need to prepare a point
No,
one day to be only discussing
no,
about the
But see,
color.
something like that comes
Yeah.
natural. But what I would like to
Yeah.
do is I would like to invite y'all back because I did learn a lot of stuff. I did cover a lot of myself.
Yeah.
I do have like 2 more questions, but I want to bring y'all back with a panel of some other people
Mhm.
because I think we have more things in common than we think we do different. Like, because when y'all was talking, it sounded like regular black folks in the U.S. to me.
Yeah.
I mean, about our
It's the same in
differences, how
blood.
we
It's the
see-
same
yeah.
in blood.
I
That's the
just
blood
feel
that
like
runs in
language
them.
sometimes
It's our
make us
blood.
feel like our experience is different, but
Yeah.
it's really the same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Same
Let me
blood.
ask you this. In Angola right now, are there business opportunities in Angola?
They have.
What they got going on in Angola? Like, should African Americans, like right now, I see a lot of African Americans going to Ghana. I don't know about going to Nigeria. I know a lot of them going to
Thank
Ghana and Liberia.
you for you already know about it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not discriminating,
But I
Nigeria,
mean-
but the way they act, they make all other countries or all other Africans people from different countries make it down because of Nigerian. Because I don't know why they what kind of country in the world the Nigerians go try to get example, but the way they act, yeah. So
No, but don't
I don't know
generalize
about
this
that.
well.
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I have a nice.
the country in
nice-
general.
I have
Yeah.
nice.
The country
I have a
in general.
good.
I think some of the stuff
the
you see
country
them
in
doing
general.
that maybe
The
is
country
not
in general.
cool has everything to do with their
country in
conversations. I think
general.
they're following a roadmap,
Yeah.
but they don't know that it
They
don't
don't.
really work like that. But I just, and then you're right, and not all of them are like that. 'Cause I have some
Because I
really
have a
cool,
good.
me too,
good
Nigerian friends too.
yeah.
But in Angola, are there business opportunities?
They have.
Like what?
It's a young country it's trying
44.
in everything. We try to do the government try to there's what can I say
To carry the economy.
the economy in all kind of sectors. Especially if you come from United States with the ambition to invest there, you have a little bit money. The government they have doors open for
Would
you.
you invest your money there?
Yeah, on the future, yeah, that's my plan.
Okay.
On
What's your plan going back to Nigeria? I mean, back to
To
Liberia.
Angola?
Angola. No, I said
to
Nigeria.
Angola,
Yeah.
my plan to not to leave, but to invest, not to leave.
Are you going
back
like?
living
I hear a lot of Africans say they're gonna build a house there so they can retire there. So you're not trying to retire and go.
to be retired? No. Here we can be retired.
But will you
nicely.
invest in your country so other people?
Invest
that
with-
live
I've
there
been
can
building
go?
one house there just to go visit with it.
Okay.
One day have my kids here and family here, yeah. Can go
Okay.
have my house in
I'll take
Angola,
that.
visit, stay with the families, enjoy, and come back
I know.
to American work. Yeah, I can do, but yeah.
What about you?
I would say in Angola they have opportunity, but the system is built not to us, not to other peoples. You know, it's like those group of that that
The
that
politicians.
that they govern Angola, the leaders. Like if you want to invest in Angola, it's like you have to make a partnership with them. It's not like someone come with his money and can invest, you know, by himself. That is, you don't see, and for foreigner, a stranger, like, you know, he's doing well in Angola. It's like you have a partner with the son of the minister, with the nephew of the general. It's like you always have to make a partnership with someone, and they don't come up with nothing but the influence. They don't welcome just you come with your money invest. No, you have to make partnership. So that's the better part. The corruption. So Angola is one of the corrupt countries
Yeah,
in Africa.
corruption
because
they
of
have
that.
where
So-
here they have corruption too, but on my now finish your point, now cutting your point of view, but on my concept is like is part of the business. We are young country. We start to go up. We only the civil war stopped right now in 2000.
Yeah, it's a part of business,
We're still growing.
But
We're still growing.
a country will
We're
not
still learning.
but a country will not
Still
develop with that system. You know, the
Yeah, they're
government
gonna
is someone
change.
they
They're gonna change
verification
in
of the
future.
economy,
Yeah.
but the problem is like they still corrupt, they still very
Corruption is
ambitious.
everywhere.
Yes,
Here in the
no,
United
but
States,
here in the United States
they
there's
have
corruption, but you don't see like in Angola. Angola is open. Here in the United States, if you are
Uh-huh.
willing, if you are intelligent,
Uh-huh.
you go after, you will success. You will
But
will
they
be
have
successful.
corruption.
Of course,
Yeah.
I'm not denying.
It's
What I'm
everywhere.
trying to tell you is
Uh-huh.
like here,
Yeah.
people are not corrupt as in Angola. In Angola, it's like people eat corruption.
see
Like
on
you know,
on
you
their
see,
eyes.
you like they are
Does
not.
it feel like it's culture?
Yeah, it's a culture. It's like even in the school, in hospital, you know, even as regular
All the
things.
government is no place.
So,
yeah,
In all
they work that
in
way.
all system in
Ministries.
Angola, is like
Of the
in all
government,
area, you know, they are corrupt. It's like the
to
culture
bear
is because you
documents,
know
to bear passport.
it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that's why it's
You want on the same day you need to pay
it's
for the passport.
it's
and
open
stuff
it's
this.
open for the business, but in other hand, someone that have American mentality, you know, not to be corrupt, you know,
Yeah.
to do things
Yeah.
right,
You're
will
gonna
not
surprise.
will not be adjusted with Angola. So you have to live there a few months, you know, to get used, you know, to be corrupt as well, so that you can be adjusted with Angolan. Then you can do better. Otherwise, you say no, I can't
Police-
stay here. You can
Police
say,
officer
because
stopping you.
daily is corruption.
You have a
Stop us
problem.
here.
They stop you on your car. You drive. They know you're wrong, but they're gonna take you to go. But you need to pay some money, $10, $20. Yeah. The guy gonna put on his pipe and you go. Whatever crime you're doing, give him in one part. Like
So-
nothing.
So the business, you know,
Why
only
don't
if you're
y'all
gonna
go
do,
back and
only if you,
change your government?
only if you wanna do,
That's
only,
the problem. That's the country was on civil war
I
for
know,
so
I know,
long.
I know. I've invested
And
with
nobody wanna go back.
you know, because you can change. You don't have that. You can educate some people. You can talk, but you won't be able because
The system.
even good now we have a
They're
new
blocking.
president. He you know he's bringing a new open-minded culture. You can criticize, you can talk, and he's welcome, and the people are accepting him because that open mind that he has. But 5 years ago, you couldn't criticize like that. You couldn't talk better things about Angola because you would be in trouble.
Yeah.
So
But-
it's a very closed system. Like even you go there, but you can only change when you are inside of the system. Is that you can make a revolution outside? Okay, you can talk about, but if you're not inside of the government, inside of the system to try to change, people say this is a crazy guy. So who cares? He's there, so okay. You have to be
But-
inside and work hard. But so for business, there is a business opportunity, but the system won't allow you to do it. Only if you have
Like your
money,
question,
yeah.
you can invest. You
And,
can invest. It's not a scary place, but
Yeah.
you need to be involved on the corruption. But you can invest. As a country, you can invest.
Because
Okay,
even the
yes.
president is traveling all the country to attract investors. He was in the United States, he was in France, in Italy, he was in South Africa, he was in Portugal, You know, he was in Iran, he was in China. So the president himself is talking with the businessman to go to Angola because 5 years ago was closed because it was blocked. The people don't want to make a partnership, you know, with the investors. But now they want the investors to come in Angola because Angola don't want to depend on oil. It's the only thing they don't depend on. When the oil is down, we enter the crisis. So we have a lot of things. We have ocean, we have wood, we have forests, we have tourism, we have agriculture. So businessmen are welcome. Even the visa now, the president did a decree to facilitate the visa for the businessmen because Angola, it's a very open country. You know, it's something like everything you do, you can make money. You know, it's like a really nice land. Like, you know, you plant this, will flourish. It's like Angola because you find the Senegalese, Congolese, like people from Algeria, people from Congo, people from Mali, because it's easy to do business in Angola. And the people make a lot of money, then they go to France, they go to Europe because it's very easy. But you have to be corrupted. You have to be willing to, you know, to adjust that corruption. You don't do things straight. Here I have a corruption, but at least, you know, you have to, you have to do just things correctly. But they don't know. Everything is money. Everything is money.
The good thing to make him to do business there because of Europe. Everything from Angola now they go to Europe, especially right now the way the country. We're still learning. It's a young country. Only 40 something years of independence is nothing. It's not compared with America through 300, 200 years something of the development. Yeah, we still need to learn. We still learn and learn, and I believe it's gonna be on the future. That's why my vision on the future is especially on the real estate. On the future, they're gonna do good. Especially not right now on the capital, everything is always busy. But I have a vision on my mom's city, on the province, on the village. Future, they're gonna touristically, they're gonna be people make a lot. And then my dad have lands there. Yeah, I have a vision one day get somebody here who have the money. Yeah, and go to invest together. Yeah,
Okay.
go to invest.
Well, gentlemen, thank you for coming by to talk with me. We talked about a lot. Man, look, but I want to have y'all back definitely with some
we
other
need to
folks
program-
too.
Yeah,
Yeah, because I feel like
not,
there's a lot of things to talk about, a lot of things to
Yeah,
learn.
especially with Afro-American women, because we need to know why that anger, that's drama, that's
I don't know
aggressiveness.
if you ready for that. You ready for that?
You're gonna get a lot of things about.
I don't know if you're ready for that.
I want to understand where it came from. That's anger.
That's the culture.
I don't know if you
That's
ready
the
for that,
Afro.
Blaine. I'm
That's
just
Afro.
saying.
On the way I understand, that's the Afro. You can judge. You need to be introduced on the culture. That's the Afro.
No,
culture.
this has nothing to do with the judging.
Yeah,
So
I
even
used
if,
to understand. It's like
Yeah,
somebody else
understand
telling
that.
me what's going on.
Yeah,
but
So
one advice I do for a female is like,
Afro.
no
females in
man,
America.
no man. That's better not saying.
No, you gotta say it.
No, you
gotta
gotta go open.
say it.
That's
You gotta
open.
say it.
That's open. Open. What can I say?
No, what was you gonna say though?
That's a sexist remark.
That's
No, what you say though?
conversation.
Say it though, because you know,
Yeah.
tell you something. Sometimes it be that kind of mark that make people.
They
like,
make
I
a
gotta say
change.
to him.
Yeah,
I want to understand what he talking about.
yeah.
So what was you gonna say, bro?
Yeah.
And I want to say like,
No, I
Men-
was scared.
men-
First year when I came, my first Afro-American sister girlfriend. Yeah, I was scared because because you know I grow up in Africa. All my girlfriends in African sisters, they don't act that way. You know, in Africa with the man. And when I come here, they want to point to my face. You could do that, and then because in Africa I never waited for that, and I was like, look at them. What I'm gonna do? And then if you well, you do something, you go in the jail. Man. You go, yeah, see, jail.
Oh, you going to jail?
Yeah, that's all American. That's all American sisters do it. Abuse a man. I can do nothing because I'm an immigrant. I can do nothing. And just look at her come down. It's not like that. You think, no, like who pass outside of apartment is like you fighting, like come on, I never expect that. Yeah, but I understand. That's the way our sisters act here. No, I understand.
No, that's why some of us act here, but I get you.
Yeah, I wasn't
You
scared.
got you was
I
scared.
was scared because I don't go Africa. I never see in Africa a woman acting to men like that, like so aggressively, like they want to fight with you because the woman there they know what men doing. When the woman try to disrespect that way of the fighting, or they're gonna be spanked from the man. But here you can do that. You'll be in jail. Yeah.
No, but don't try to think like all the women in Africa are submissive. I've seen women that fight.
But they have some. But
of course, this is the
you
minority.
you the one starting with the topic about Afro-American sisters.
But
right now you try to kill the point.
Don't try to.
They have
Don't try to. Don't try to make things like all the women.
But don't try.
There are some rabugentas, some drama girls that
but don't try to compare.
I don't compare.
You're the one that bring the point.
Yeah, I don't compare. But
why you compare?
You see in Africa, there are some women that you know.
I know that's
why I'm
saying.
Here for those sisters came from Africa.
I know that's why I'm saying. That's why you bring the point on the table. On this white table,
like all the women in Africa are peace. No.
That's why you bring the point.
Really good conversation.
Yeah,
I'm gonna definitely have
yeah.
some.
We need to.
I'm gonna definitely
bring on
have
the table
some
that
African American
about
women here.
that.
That some of them, like one of my friends, and I hope she would agree to come on.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say that, but
Yeah.
loved African men, loved some African men from the continent.
Yeah.
She's really big on Nigerians at the time. She's Haitian, but she's doing Nigerians.
Yeah.
But so then I guess a few of them didn't work out. So now she's like, I'm done with Africans. I was like, you can't be done with all the Africans because the couple of you was dealing with whatever. But I think also sometimes we have this misconception of who we think African men are.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because I think that y'all human beings like the rest of the men. Now I think sometimes we're looking at culture. Now sometimes African American men, some of them don't appear to have a culture, not the stuff that we created, but an actual culture, or they adopt the culture, but only takes the parts that they want and not the whole thing of the culture.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like I can have as many women as I want, but you gotta take care of all of them. You can barely take care of yourself. So how you gonna have more than one wife?
Yeah.
So so I'm just saying, but I think that would be a great discussion. Because what we're talking about is nation building. That's what we're really talking about. How will we do that? We should be able to welcome people when they come here from Africa. This should be a place for us to welcome them. Who's new here, so we can make sure we get y'all the resources that you need, because that's what other groups do.
Yeah.
And that's something when I was a nursing assistant, we have a class like a culture, understanding the culture of Indian, African worship. Because if you don't know other culture, you will be lost.
Yeah.
You will judge people. You don't know how they handle. That's the way when some African come here, they get lost because they don't know how Americans act. So in Americans, they're like, those guys, because you don't. You have to start.
Involved.
You have to be involved. You have to study the
culture.
how they deal. The boundaries. It's very important.
So this is my absolute last question, for real. Are y'all influenced by Christianity or Islam or one of the Abrahamic religions? Does that influence you all?
Christian, because we believe both of us.
We're no Muslim.
We were born in
no Muslim.
So there's really no Muslims there. So we have
no
Christianity.
The government did it too.
Y'all just banned them.
Yeah.
We did that on one of our shows.
They
just banned Islam.
Yeah, they banned.
Because Muslim only came
it's a Christian
in the 20s,
because
no, but they are strong there. They have their Meccas, they have
the Muslims.
Yeah,
they strong in South Africa.
In Angola too. They are very strong. I was admired when I see their group like
the government. They don't gonna take that people from the country. They have this community. And the community, they're strong. That community Muslim, they're strong there, but the country they don't accept.
So do y'all have so in some African traditions and cultures, they have what they call like the regular religion, whatever it is, with that Christianity, Islam, or whatever. And then they have what's called the actual beliefs.
Yeah.
So that's to say you could be doing Christianity. Because when I was in Benin, Togo, when I was in Togo, I was two of us. One person got a reading by a man, I got a reading by a woman. But the man was a Muslim, but he did like the reading like you would in indigenous. I was like, wait a minute, ain't you a Muslim?
Mhm.
And he was like, yeah, but this is my culture.
Yeah.
So you can have religion
Yeah.
as a
It's a culture,
covering
yeah.
almost, because that's, almost what you gotta do to make sure white people don't think you're threatening. And then you have what is really your culture.
Yeah.
But in
Yeah.
Angola, we don't.
No, the problem on the village, yeah.
Yeah, in a
Not
village,
couple.
but in a village, they
Don't
don't
talk
have, they
about
don't
couple,
they
talk
don't have the religion stuff. If you want to say in a
When,
village,
when I'm talking about the religion, Catholicism in Angola, I'm talking about the village. I don't talk about on the
But
big
they-
city.
but they
You
don't
go
have
to
that.
Wambo, you go to Malange, you go to BA, all the province, you see mostly on the Wheeler, they Catholicism
yes,
is
but they
big.
don't have those kind
We
of
don't
like
come
in
talk
the-
about
they
that.
talk-
They don't
they
have
have
an
something
religion.
to
They don't have a
cover,
religion.
the indigenous to cover. If they are Catholic, they are Catholic. They are Protestant. They are Seventh-day Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
go.
they
but
are. They are that, but they don't have like something.
They don't
to
have an
cover.
indigenous
No,
thing
don't
that
say
they
that.
do that's
Don't say
like
Don't say that.
ancestors or
Don't
Palo
say that.
or
No,
any of that kind of
that's
stuff?
things that are what the tribe that I was
They
telling you, like they have the
have-
Guayama, they have Guayama, but this Guayama they
You
can
can
be a
go on
Catholic.
Sunday on the
They can,
church.
yeah, but they also have their tradition.
They have-
Each one they have their tradition, but their tradition is not like a church, it's just tradition that they
Yeah.
follow.
Gotcha.
They
That's
still
what they
follow
just do.
respect, but they don't
Gotcha.
like
Yeah.
show to the world like okay, but they still
Got
respect
you,
it,
okay.
They still
I get that.
follow.
Okay. You guys are awesome. So I'm gonna bring y'all back. Thank y'all
Yeah,
so much
man,
for coming
we're
to talk
here.
to me.
We're
Don't
here.
move, let me
We're
shut
waiting
stuff
for-
down.
Yeah.
All right, family. I will see y'all on Sunday morning. I know it'll be Mother's Day. We'll have a treat for you all, and I'll see y'all all on Sunday. Peace, family.
Yeah. Wakanda.
Y'all are hilarious, man. I gotta uplift this movie for this to finalize. You guys are hilarious. Hold on, I still got 2 more lives. I just gotta make sure I start this real quick. Is this done? Oh, it is done. Okay, now I have to go. Not there. Here, hold on. I gotta make sure I go to the live box. There it is, right there. This one, and then I'm gonna say here, and then I'm gonna say. Let me stop this too. So let's go and do a lift up. Let me just do this real quick. There we go. Okay, that's good. I gotta go here. So next door, they sometimes on Friday nights,
Yeah.
they do like a video night.